The Dynasty.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? How you living? How you feeling? How your mom and them? Hey world, what's good? It's your boy LG, and we are back with another edition. And this is kind of an impromptu one. This is a quick one, but we here. We living, we vibing, all that good shit. You love to have it. And we are here vibing and chilling in today's episode of The Emperor's Court. Hey. And today's gonna be a special episode because we got a special guest with me today, and it is one of the people from In Control. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, we got Vertz in the building. How you doing, man? How you living? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm actually glad that we're able to have this conversation to sit down and talk for a bit.
It's about time.
Yeah, indeed. We were sitting there talking earlier, and we was just like having a conversation, and we were like, you know what? Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we was just sitting there talking, and we was just catching up, and then all of a sudden we just started going in every which direction, and I was like, yo, this is good. This is good. We need more of this. I feel like this is what we need more in this space, man. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, man. Tell them.
Man, I mean, there's not much to it. I'm just somebody that has apparently some controversial opinions, but I think of it as me just liking the truth, for the most part, anyway. I'm a gamer through and through, so that's why I think some of my opinions have changed, because, you know, we grew up in Modern Warfare 2 lobby times, and it's just quite different.
Oh, indeed. All the fun words that were had, and the things that we said was fun.
Exactly.
I think I still stand by that. I still think that people wouldn't survive in a MW2 lobby. I think that's the running gag, and I think it's a running gag because it's so true. I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it's true because it goes into the competitive nature, but we're part of In Control. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to TJ for having dope people on.
Oh yeah.
And I like that. Just have just being able to talk with people like this. But I will say this, y'all. I gotta say this, y'all. Even though we are in control, our views and our opinions are totally our own. So if y'all do that canceling shit, I'm telling you, I don't play that. I specifically, personally, I don't know, I can't speak for you, Vertz, but me personally, I specifically instructed TJ to let me know, to send me information on when people try to do that shit to me and put my name in it, so that way I'll handle it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't take any of this to In Control. If you want to try and cancel me, you can, but that's just part of the soft generation shit that we're going to be talking about anyway.
Right. So you know what? I think this is a good way to start, I think. So I think there's, and I've said this in my videos before, and I want to know what you think, right? When it comes down to competitive gaming, I think the competitiveness is lacking, and not necessarily per se in a skill sense, but more the mentality sense. What do you agree, disagree with that, or?
Yeah. I don't necessarily even think it's just gaming related. I think the last, I would say probably 10 years, it's just everything, sports, everything. People just make excuses nowadays instead of really reflecting on things that they could have done better.
Mm,
And it takes away from a lot of the competitive aspect, in my opinion, or at least growth.
right, and I think also too. I think it's like speaking of like with sports. I think it's also the fact that, and I've seen it with NBA especially because I'm more into NBA than NFL. But I've seen it with a lot of game, like with a lot of these players that they try to be all like buddy buddy with each other, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And I'm like, everybody's trying to be friends with everybody. Everybody's trying to be like buddy buddy with everybody. And I'm like, especially like bigger stars, they all try to click together and shit. And it's
Yep.
like, I
Yeah, you
I,
don't have that fire. You don't have people talking trash. They're hugging and stuff.
yeah, they always hugging it. Like, I mean, that's cool. Like, maybe at the end of the game or some shit. Like, but like
Yeah.
while the game is going, it's like ain't nobody like jawing at each other. Like, going actually getting in each other's faces. And then
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think it's due to the nature of it. Like, 'cause, like I grew up in the Jordan era. Like, I grew up like with basketball. We was watching Jordan, and it was just the man was competitive. Like he was a competitor. Like yeah, he was cool with you, but like when you was competing on that floor and you wasn't wearing the red jersey that said Bulls on it, you wasn't it wasn't no friendship. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It was
It,
business.
it wasn't no friendship. And even if you was wearing the jersey, you wasn't doing your job. He was on your ass. And
Yep.
I think
So
that
Steve Kerr.
I think that's killing. I think that's one of the things that's killing the competitive scene is that people are it's the mentality. It's the lack of wanting to compete and wanting to actually get in there because and just play and play to the best of your ability. Want to grow and the whole trash talking. I think it's part of the game. I've always said that it's you know like I said, and if you really about it, like I said, hey, you can 1v1 find out. I wish there was ways that they could do stuff like that, like do 1v1s and stuff like when people you know what I'm saying? If it's ever
Yeah.
that serious or that bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, I agree with you on pretty much everything that you just said. But like, even so, you do a 1v1. Like, I can only speak for COD, for example, for the most part, because
Yeah.
that's where I competed and everything. But like,
Yeah.
even that, you talk trash to someone, they cross the line, you play a 1v1, then they just make excuses about latency or the internet or
Yeah.
X, Y, or Z. Man, it's just talk your trash, don't cross the line.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to get physical, but you could say basically whatever you want.
Indeed.
And like, I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it.
Mhm.
I mean, if I don't know if you've gone to events, but like COD events, you'll have people that you're about to get knocked out in the first round. You don't even win one map at the tournament, and you're screaming at the enemy team every time you get 2 kills. Like, what are you screaming about?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
it's so much about going viral nowadays rather than actually being successful, and I
Right.
think that's
That
just sad.
that part. That part. I you know what? That and that's the kind of stuff that's like it dulls it for me. You get what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Like that kid that's yelling, he's got his first kill like 2 minutes in the match and he's been getting, railed on for the past 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's um it's always funny to see that type of stuff. And it's always hilarious to me. Like the stuff that gets called out. Like you got people that want to. It's that weird thing of people want to get all up in your face, want to do all of this. Is that? But when it's time to show up, folks don't want to do it. Folks don't.
Hmm.
And I do agree that there's people that come in with excuses with that, and that's the part that kills me. Is like, what's the point of you talking all this shit if you just gonna give me excuses?
Yeah, because they want to absolve themselves. It's the same reason that when COD players get done with a map, they'll overchow and make dumb plays to get extra kills so that they can take a picture of the scoreboard at the end of the game and be like, "It wasn't my fault we lost."
Oh Jesus. Like, bro, but you was just sitting there doing. So you worried about the last 2 minutes of the game. The first 8 minutes, you was like over here, damn near selling. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I
like
mean, it's It's wild, man.
I think the competitive nature of people are just it's weird.
Yep.
It's weird. I think honestly, when it comes down to people competing, I personally think that you should be prepared as a competitor to deal with pretty much anything. And
Anything.
deal more with fighting games, and with fighting games it's that same thing, and it's actually it should be a lot in theory. It should be a lot more, dare I say, entertaining to watch. Also, as like it should be easier to manage, or you know what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
it's just one on one. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right there. You know, let them get in each other's face. Okay, cool. Let them handle their business, but let them get to the game. You know what I'm saying? And let them handle it that way. But I think even with that, it's just like so many people are it's they're worried about stuff that doesn't make any sense. Oh well he said stuff about this, he said stuff about that, and you know, this phobia, that phobia. I'm over it, bro. Like it's like you can't even
Man.
really talk trash to nobody no more because it's like people get so sensitive. He's like, you
Y-
know, you're oh well why is he getting in that black man's face? Oh, it's Black History Month. Why is he why is
Yeah,
he getting
exactly, man.
you know, oh
You
well
can't just agree. You can't just disagree with somebody anymore. It has to be something underneath it. Like you can just have different opinions and still have a conversation.
yeah, and I think that's the goal. What needs to happen is like in a competitive sense. You know, if you're on a team, you know, you talk with your teammates, compete. You know, and y'all have to be on a similar page. Fighting games, it's same thing. It's minus the team aspect, of course. And I think what's happening is I think there's people that are in this space that don't care about gaming. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's people that are in this space that do not care. People that are getting propped up in this space, like you were saying, that want to go viral,
Yep.
that do not care about this space as gaming, like gaming space. They want to
The
feel the
money pit.
experience. They want the money. They want the experience, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes. You can't see me, but uh, they want the experience, if you will, but they don't want to the full experience. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's they want this their watered down version of, like, you know, they want this WWE shit, but they don't want to, you know, they don't want to get involved with the shit. Like I don't know. Like I feel like, and because I've seen several people in this space, like even with casuals that are trying to make these events for like different games. Like I've seen it with Call of Duty, and I've sat back and I watched some of these people, and I feel like a lot of these people do not make they have no clue what's going on. They don't care about what's going on in gaming. They're just trying to make another cult. I feel like, and this is not it. I feel like it's not the place to do that. I personally feel like I could be wrong. I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe I'm tripping.
No,
Hmm.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't know that I'd go so far to call it a cult, but I definitely think that people just see most of this as a money pit for numerous reasons, and because of it, they just aren't able to do things that sustain long-term growth for the most part. I mean, Call of Duty is an excellent example. New game every year. Why would you make a new game every year if it was a good game? You
Mm,
wouldn't. And how
yeah.
would you make a good game every year if you only have 1 year to work on it? You can't.
Mm,
I know it's 3 years because it's a cycle, but either way, you're spending 3 years to make one game. Half of that is spent on campaign. Maybe the other half, or half of the other half, is spent on like zombies and random stuff. And then you spend no time on competitive.
yeah. You
It's
should have a competitive division. Like, how come Call of Duty doesn't have
facts.
like a competitive division? They know there's people in there that will compete in Call of Duty. Why don't you?
But it's not worth spending the money on it. I mean,
Ah,
for what? Because once they, I mean, I think it is personally as a competitor,
right,
but
right.
like to them, I mean, it's such a small fraction of people. When the game gets changed every year, how do you hire a team for a year on a yearly basis? What do you pay them just to focus on competitive, which really doesn't need that much attention, in my opinion? I think honestly, I think you could force people to do it for what they're already getting paid. You're a $1 billion company,
Mm,
but I just it's such a small. They don't want to like. exclude people, I feel like, because of all this woke BS. Oh, and Warzone. I didn't even think about that.
Oh
All this
shit.
time spent on freaking Warzone.
I forgot about Warzone. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, everybody's been on Warzone because Fortnite was the thing, and now everybody was trying to copy that battle royale. You could do
Yep.
competitive, which I don't understand how you can do competitive in a battle royale game. I've never.
Uh,
It just, to me, it
I
doesn't
mean,
make
I like
sense.
the way they do it. I like the way they do it. I know it's a lot of RNG because, loot and weapons and what you find, but they balance it pretty well with a kill is weighted for a certain amount, your placement's weighted for a certain amount.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can kind of see that. But it's just like to me it's just the nature, like I'm looking, like you said, the RNG factor.
Hmm.
I'm looking at the RNG, I'm looking at like just the nature of how it works. It's basically free for all. Then let's have a fucking free for all tournament then. Like,
Yep.
what I'm saying? Top 4 get
Yep.
in. Top 4 go to the next
Exactly.
map and something like that. Like, what I'm saying? Like I think
Yep.
I don't know. It's just certain things people are trying to, once again, it's the monetization of it and trying to get people get people involved, to get money in it. But then, like I said, when you start doing it for specifically only for the money, you're going to start running into people that don't care about the game, that don't have a passion for the game. And I like I said, me personally, I say it's a cult because a lot of the people that are involved in this is because, or they be not because, but they're involved in this to the point where it becomes cult like. They want people to give them their attention or whatever. They want to be involved in that. And
Yep.
if you're not saying the things that they want you to say, then
You're out.
yeah, you're out. And that's why I say gatekeeping should be a thing. I've argued with people, and it's Black History Month still. There's still about a day left. I don't care. We get an extra day because it's leap year. Woo. Uh, but I think honestly, like with gatekeeping, what it's designed to do, it was designed to get people, the bad people out, the people that were not interested. And once again, I have no problems with casuals. I've said this before. I have no problems with casuals, people that come in, play the game for a little
You
bit,
pay
and
for the
leave.
game. Yep.
They come in, pay for the game, they play for a little bit, they come in every so often. Hey, cool, that's fine. But if you're a casual, you can't be making competitive decisions. If you're a casual, I'm just
Correct.
I think
Correct.
I personally think.
One thing I think would be cool, because here's the big disconnect, is I think a lot of the people for most games, I feel like they are passionate about the games,
Okay.
but I feel like there's a big difference between being passionate about the game and saying you love it, and
Hmm.
being passionate about the game and saying, I want it to be the best thing for what the fans want it to be.
Mm.
Because if you make it for just yourself and you're the one person that has this opinion, even though you love the game, it's not going to end up being what people want, and they're going to have problems with it.
Mm.
And that's where a lot of the money stuff comes in. But
Interesting.
you make it like, imagine, I don't have a good fighting game example, but imagine like Call of Duty fans were allowed to vote in basically a spokesperson that would go work for Activision to
Mm.
basically make decisions on Call of Duty,
Mm.
like a government representative for gaming.
Oh, geez, that would be crazy. That would be
But I
wild.
mean, you know what I mean? To actually share ideas that the people actually want, that
Mm.
represent the competitive side, that represent,
Mm.
the long-term growth of a game.
Mm. And that's what I feel like. That's what we need. Like we need people that, like I said, that have an understanding. And I think that's the problem. I think the ones that do have an understanding, those are the ones that get quieted out. Those are the ones that get shut
Yep.
down. Those are the things that get covered. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
get ignored versus the people that right now, the people that are the loud ones. There and like I said, I have no issue with people being successful. None of that. But I do pay attention to certain things, and I do catch certain I guess tendencies. And a lot of this stuff from what I've seen is just a lot of these people are at best, casual at best,
Yeah.
and or intermediate at the
Yep.
at the very best. And in the worst case, they're just tourists passing through. And once again, I, as a gamer, as somebody who plays games, I play different games, not just fighting games, but I play a whole lot of games. And there's games, some games may not be for me or whatever. Some games I play once or twice, and then I'll come back to maybe every few years or so. And then there's games that I will play more often than that are at the top of my list. and to those games that I've played and I put hours into, and I really have fond memories with, I'm gonna be a little bit more inclined for those. And it's the same thing for some of these people. It's like you got people in here that are trying to, I don't like, that come in here like, oh well, I've never played a shooter before. We'll stick with Call of Duty since we're gonna talk that. Um, I've never really played a Call of Duty before, but why is this so? I think a rocket launcher should be have a fast reload time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, wait, what? Like, what? Why would you give RPG, the standard RPG too, the
Hmm.
long standard RPG? Why would you give that one a quick reload time, the same reload time as an AR? For what?
Meanwhile, it might be a faster reload time than every RPG and every other Call of Duty that's ever existed, but you wouldn't know that because you just started playing.
Exactly. Right. But that requires, once again, that requires research, knowledge, and I feel like that's the thing where people lack.
Yep.
And I think a lot of, other, once again, I'm this is off my own opinion when it comes down to like other like gaming or some of these other gaming organizations, and I think a lot of these gaming organizations really, I feel, drop the ball with a lot of creators and people in this space, is that they don't get people that are into it like that. Like they get people that are like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I don't mind being like content creators, people like that are content creators for organizations, which I am one. Um, but I feel like you have to have some kind of work ethic, if that makes sense, or some
That,
kind of
yeah.
some kind of passion for what you do. Um, and I've noticed it's lacking with a lot of, especially a lot of fighting game players in the community. They're just out there, and I think there's also like it's not a lot of passion. There's also like a lot of these orgs are not supporting these creators either. I've seen that, and that was always my big thing, is like having that internal support, because I think that's important. These are the people that's representing your company, your brand. You want to put them out there. Not
Yep.
saying, and I have to make this clear because I'm not saying this. I'm not talking about anybody in control. Not saying that. All right. I am saying in general. This is a general topic. I had to say that because people love to, you know, they don't want to research nothing, but they love to dig deep into shit that don't make any fucking sense. Like
No,
they'll
for sure.
they'll 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 dig into this conversation, but they won't have their own opinion. They won't go look into other shit. So, what do
Well,
you
and you
think
can
about that?
see it. Do you play Overwatch at all, or have you played Overwatch at all?
I haven't played Overwatch 2 because I just got disheartened with after
But
Overwatch 1.
okay, but have you seen any content on Overwatch ever
I've seen.
from the okay? So that's a really good example about what you're talking about and lack of passion, because all Overwatch content for like the last 3 to 4 years up until recently has been almost identical. You've got
Mm,
every single person that comes out. They're all educational to Grandmaster Widow, educational to Grandmaster, bronze to Grandmaster Reaper. They go through every character. They do the same video,
mm,
and they just reuse the same ideas over and over. Now, there's a few outliers, and those are usually the people that do better. But it's
right.
just like there's no creativity. Why is there no creativity? Because you don't love it. You're not passionate about it. You're doing it to get views. You're
Mm,
you're not you're not aiming to do something that's going to get views.
hmm
You're aiming to just get views.
right. And you're going with the tried and true method at this point.
Yeah, just copy something that's already worked, get some quick free views, but it's not sustainable that way.
Right, exactly. No, exactly. It's easy views because people are already looking for it. Yo.
Yeah. Hmm.
hmm I agree. I totally agree with that. I feel like a lot of, like I said, I've seen it. Like I've seen a little bit of Overwatch content, and I've seen it more so also too with fighting games too. Like I know, of course, with Tekken, like with games that come out, like it's those are a little bit more valuable because these games, they kind of come out a certain way. They have a certain
Yeah.
release schedule. They're a little bit different in that regard. But like even then, like honestly, with like I would say with Overwatch, right? Let's say that keep that same thing. All right. How about like where's the people that are like mercy mains, whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
People that are mercy mains, giving. passionate advice about what they're talking about their character, that would help. And I guess a lot of people hold on to that tech because they don't want their tech to be exposed or whatever. And I'm like, why the fuck not? Shout out Renown Zero. He said he's in here. He's here. Yes, you are here. We're there.
We're here.
We're here. We just out here vibing. We're out here talking. Just getting everything warmed up. Just getting y'all started for a bit, and
Sir.
just having a good conversation. I think honestly, when it comes down to it, like I said, the woke. Yep, exactly. 32 minutes. Yeah, we just having fun. That's all we doing. I think the woke ideology too is a problem. I think when it comes down to a lot of this stuff. I think. And I think that's one thing we can both agree on. It's like a lot of this. I've said it before, and I'll say it here. 32-minute video uploading. Oh, okay, got you. Damn, you out here working, bro. I see. So my thing, when it comes down to this, I have no problem with you being who you want to be, right? I know a guy I got a friend of mine that's or associate that I know plays Killer Instinct. He's a furry. It is what it is. He's he's in the furry life. He's a fan of what is that furry? That guy that's I want to say Sonic Fox.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the only one I know.
Yeah, Sonic Fox. He's furry. Yeah, he's familiar with him, and I'm like, all right, cool. It is what it is. That's fine. I know people that are straight as a board. It is what it is. You better not put anything rainbow on them. You better not put a rainbow flag near them. It is what it is. I have no issue with what you do in the bedroom. But when you start putting that ideology out and trying to put it in the competitive space, that's where I have an issue. And you start using that. Well, people hating on me because I'm gay, or I'm bisexual, or I'm trans, or I'm black, or I don't care, bro. Like it's not. To me, I feel like that's the furthest thing from the competitive space, and I feel like we don't need it. And it goes back to what I've said earlier. That's the type of people that are trying to get involved in this space. And honestly, we don't need those types of people. I don't care. Like, yes, we want to have a safe environment. I believe in that. Sure. However, we're here to fucking compete. I do not care about any of that shit. Like, I don't care if you like to have, dick up the booty. That's your business.
Well, and real quick, like, what's a safe environment? Because, I mean, you're going to make it, in order for you to feel safe in your environment, you're going to make everyone else feel like they can't say, do, think, or act on anything because of how you may feel.
That's right.
I mean, that doesn't feel safe for anybody. And it's not even just that. I have no opposition to you feeling or acting any certain way or however you feel like in the confines of your own home. But any sort of scene in public is not the place that every single person needs to know your sexual identity. It is not who you are as a person, and it doesn't pertain to gaming at all.
Yeah, it's a very fraction. It's a fraction of who you are. These people have literally made their whole lives, based around a fraction, a very small, minute fraction of what they do. Unless you're a nympho, and fine, be that. Unless you do that, like you're a nympho, you do that shit all the time, then that's your business. But even then, still, it doesn't. All of this extra shit, and I think the reason why it got incorporated, especially so quickly, because it sounds good on the surface. I think.
Yep.
It sounds good on the surface. On the surface, yes, we want to have a safe environment. We want people to be able to enjoy, competing. We want people to be able to enjoy coming in, having an overall good time. We want our events to be free from people harassing. We want it to be a harassment free zone. In a basically a legal fun place to play. have a good time,
Yeah.
so to speak. And it sounds good on paper, but once you start talking to these people, it becomes a control factor, like you saying earlier. Well, if you think like this, then you're a phobe, you're istophobe. You know, if
Yep.
you think if you have this thing, or if you're black, or if you're white, and you should make way, give up your seat in the tournament for a black person because you're white, you're privileged. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's not true. That's not the case. We're here to compete. I don't care. I want
Yep.
to see the best people play. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
If I wanted to see a blacks only tournament, I would go to one. You know what I'm saying? And having these blacks only tournaments, right, or these women only tournaments, and even I would even say women's only tournaments too. It doesn't it dilutes the competitive experience, especially with gaming, because with esports, that's one of the reasons why I love esports, is because anybody could compete,
Yep.
and you could compete for longer.
Yep. It's
You
just
could
everyone's so divisive.
you could compete for longer. And I've seen there was I shit you not, there was a I forgot what tournament it is. It was like a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament. And in this tournament, I think it was like either last year or the year before last. There was this older couple, a man and a woman. They were both, I think they were both together. They would signed up for this tournament and played Marvel 3, a fast paced game. They were like in their 50s, like 50s, 60s, it looks like. And they were just having a good time. Of course, I mean, they didn't make it far, but that's what that's part of the competitive experience. Like they want to compete in these tournaments, go for it. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of esports. Like, you got a guy playing against a girl, and you got all of these things and blah blah blah. Cool, but it's like you said, everybody being so divisive, it fucks up a lot of different things, man. It's like, I feel like it fucks up the competitive aspect so much, and I hate it. I hate it,
It's
and
just because people are soft.
mm,
I
it
mean, it's such a mental thing in general. I don't understand why people don't get it in competitive nature. Like, it's not that I agree with what people say between the lines, but quote unquote between the lines, but like,
yeah,
they say stuff to get in your head in order to win the game.
yeah,
It's not because they actually believe that. And when you look at stuff like, if I were to say something to you, right? Like, I'm
yeah,
talking trash and I say whatever, people, even if I don't say anything racial, they could say that they're going to find a way to say that I'm racist because I'm white and you're black.
yeah,
And but like, when they look deeper at things, like, let's say if someone was talking trash to another white person.
yeah,
Okay, then now you're calling him poor. Now you're saying he's a man that can't provide for his family. Or you look at women's tournaments, they're calling them bitches and whores.
yeah,
Like, everyone on the internet gets picked on in their own way. You're
yeah.
and I know you're not. People aren't gonna like hearing this. You're not special. Okay,
But
everyone gets talked trash to. You
mm,
have to just. I'm not saying be okay with it, but either talk trash back or shut the fuck up. Like,
let your
win the game.
let your performance
Win the
do
game.
talking, yo.
Exactly. Win the
Yo.
game. That's the ultimate thing.
But
And
mommy told me I
yeah,
was special. Okay, mommy told me.
exactly. Then that's why you're soft.
Mommy told me I was special.
My mom
Mommy,
told me if you ain't first, you're last.
uh,
Ricky Bobby.
yeah. Mama told me I was. Mom told me I was special. They said I could be whatever I wanted. So I decided to be a woman.
Upset.
I decided to be. They told me I could be whatever I want, so I decided to be a bitch.
Exactly.
Like I said, I have no issue with it, and it's funny. Like I said, I see these whoopers only tournaments, and I see this stuff, and I'm like, like, so tell me again, how does this promote diversity, like inclusion in gaming? Like, how is that inclusive to have a women's only tournament? Like, how is that inclusive to have a blacks only tournament? That's what I want to know. If y'all, because gaming's always been inclusive, it's always
Yep.
been, and it's brought so many people together, even the people that you would never thought. That was the beautiful part about this. The same people that were getting picked on for liking
Yep.
Legend of Zelda, people would
Exactly.
like love that shit. There was another person that was getting picked on. Another person would
Yep.
see that, they'd be like, "Hey man, hey, you know what? I like
Yeah, I
Legend of
play
Zelda.
Gears of War too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I play Gears, man. Hey, man, I like Gears, man. I like this stuff. That you know what? Yeah, that's cool, and that could be a new friend, a new person to play with. But I think once again, it goes back to how soft people are right now, and it's really annoying. Honestly, now that I think about it, like it annoys the fuck out of me, bro. Because it's like we should be further along in society right now. Like people should
Yep.
be able to. You would think with how things like just in general, like if from 20 plus years before, like theoretically speaking, we should be way further than where we're at.
Well, I think the internet and not the internet, but social media has really kind of been a big factor in dividing it. I mean, if you peel back the onion a little bit into what you're saying, like you really sit there and think about like why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like why is this happening? Because people are able to push a political agenda on things. Like I can play devil's advocate for the people that you disagree with, and
Yeah.
I'm white, and I can sit there on their side and say it like, well, you could sit there and say that lacrosse is inclusive, but at the same time, it's one of the most expensive sports. Then you go and you start talking about the poverty rate per race, and now it's some systematic bullshit. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's not that I don't necessarily agree or disagree with any of what they're saying. It's just a matter of making excuses.
Mm,
Everything is readily available for you to be able to do what you want to do.
yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying someone doesn't have an advantage over you in general.
Yeah.
Okay, like if I wanted to be a NFL quarterback, who do you think has a better chance, Tom Brady's son or me? I technically we both have a chance,
Yeah.
but so like people have advantages, people have disadvantages, but blaming excuses and then trying to divide everyone based on something like race or gender, which is what you're trying to avoid by doing that in the first place,
Yeah. But
is just
then
the
turn
same
around
thing.
and then turn around and say, well, well, we want to get people together and but blacks have it harder and it's like, no, I've argued with people this before. I'm like, bro, I when I go home or if I step out the house, right, I'm not worried about somebody pulling me over. I'm not that scared of getting pulled over like by
Yeah.
the police. Like that doesn't like it's not. Then again, I'm also not doing nothing out the crazy out the wazoo either. I'm not making
Hmm.
myself. I'm not making myself a thing. Like I'm not making myself, that type of spectacle. You know what I'm saying?
You
So
know who's usually scared about getting pulled over? People that are doing something wrong.
yeah, yeah, yep. Because even if people like, even if you got a reason to do what you got to do, hey, even if like say you speeding because your life in danger, you gonna do you, if you do get pulled over, you be like, hey officer, look, my life in danger right now. I can't stop,
Hmm.
I gotta, or hey, I got an emergency, I can't really stop, I gotta, it's one of those things where like I said, it's people, how do I put it, people are soft, I guess people are weak, like I guess right now like the people that are in the spotlight are soft
Yep.
right now, and I think that's the problem, like we're putting people in the spotlight that shouldn't be. Meanwhile, the people that are working hard, they get ignored, they get all of that stuff. And that's one of the things that I'm not a fan of. And that's like I was sitting there talking with a renown, I was talking with you a little bit earlier. I feel like there's so many people right here that could be that have to work feel like they have to work a little bit harder because oh well, I don't that whole it's not who you know or it's not what you know, it's who you know type thing.
Hmm.
And I get it, but then I don't agree with it either. In a lot of cases, I don't agree with it because it's like, oh, well, I got in because I knew this person. Okay, well, if you don't have the skill set that people are looking for, you're just wasting up space. Unless that's the point.
Yeah, and I work for corporate, so like I'm right in the middle of it's who you know,
Yeah.
but like I also have my degree as well, but like people need to understand networking is not only extremely important,
Mm,
but 9 times out of 10 you don't get in the same room as somebody, let alone an opportunity, unless you have some skill set
yeah.
to be able to provide to them. You may not be the best person for the job, you may not be the most qualified candidate, but if they're not going to just offer somebody an unqualified position, 9 times out of 10 without there being some reasoning. And I think that's something that's missing in the competitive scene too, especially in games like Call of Duty. You've got these people that are top AMs that sit there and they grind scrims all day with the same people and play eights all day and wagers with the same people, but they don't get outside their circle and wonder why they never move up every single year, making the same mistakes over and over. Like, get out and meet and make a name for yourself with an entire crowd of people. Networking is a tool.
True.
I don't know if I can even say this on your stream, but people call it dick riding. It's called networking.
Yo, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And I feel like it's. I feel like it should be one of those things where people need to get out more, and that's the point of networking, is to get out. How you doing, Gray? Good to see you. Welcome in. Um, it's one of those things where you got to evaluate the people that you're around, and also like take a look at the people that you're around, because that's one of the things that I'm working on, is like, bro, I want to, bro, I don't want to be sitting up here doing this shit for nothing. Like
Yep.
I don't want to be doing this shit. Like, I enjoy what I do, and I'd rather, like I said, I'd much rather be getting paid for going around and doing the things that I want to do, whether it's gaming related or me going out to other strip clubs, like doing my strip club chronicle stuff at other clubs and stuff. I I have no issue with that. Like, I want to be able to build my brand and whatever I plan on doing. You know what I'm saying? Um, Speaking of which, I gotta do this real quick. I gotta do a quick plug before I forget. Y'all, I do have merch available with the new logo, and I do have another logo that I gotta get. I gotta get the 13. He's gonna send me his the logo for the logo that he made for me. But I do have merch available. Yeah, I got hoodies because it's still hoodie season. I got t-shirts and all that good stuff. Get y'all some stuff right here at spreadshirt.com. I'm also on the website. I also got the Dynasty Dime stuff up. All that good stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah. Y'all Chris, don't sleep on me. Don't y'all do it. Get y'all stuff today at 210lg.com. Holla at me. I'm plugging myself, damn it. I gotta go to
Oh
bat.
yeah, you should.
Go to bat for myself, because if ain't nobody else gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. God dang it. I'm tired of doing it. Shout out to In Control Squad, TJ. You know what I'm saying? One of the best people out there, man, out here doing his own thing. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it, man. I want to switch gears a bit, because you brought this up. And we're gonna talk about it.
I haven't seen it, for the record. I have not seen it.
He's lying.
No, I'm not. We talked about this podcast and a little bit of a disagreement. So
yeah. Nah, I'm bullshit. I gotta bullshit because it's fun. So I'm going to switch scenes on my end, but they should still be able to hear you. Yeah. We're talking about the Whatever podcast. Some of y'all, I haven't, like I said, I've seen clips from whatever podcast. Some of the clips, not a fan, but I'm not gonna trip though. You feel me? I'm good. We good. We're gonna get it going. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna do something. Where is it? Is it display capture or is it browser? I don't remember what it is right now, because I can't do what I do right now. Oh, it's a window capture. I'm so silly. I knew that. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that.
yeah, I just want to make sure we knew it. You testing our skills,
right? Just a little bit, you know.
Appreciate that.
Just want to make sure we good. Okay, there we go. And I fucked up. And you're all over the screen. Damn.
That's good.
Damn. Black History Month, and you're all over the screen.
Yep.
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna take that joke and run with it. Damn it, I don't care.
You got 1 day left.
I got 1 day left to do it, and I'm gonna do it. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
I want to know who chose to make it February.
That's what I want to know. That's a good question, because I'm trying to figure that out too. But I like I said, I like it because it's a good history tool. But I hate the fact that people use this as once again being divisive. All right, so I did an impromptu thing. Impromptu as hell. So we're gonna look at this. We're looking at this clip from what this is provided to us by Vertz himself, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. It says the title says, "She thinks women have set the bar too low." Andrew Wilson rebutted her. Rebutted? That's how you say it? I thought it was rebutted.
I think it's rebuted, but either way, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, English. I feel like it feels. It doesn't feel.
It's hard.
So you stated in the pre-show notes, girlfriends of mine who accept so much less. Forgive me if you already talked about that.
Okay, so what I meant in my pre-show notes, I guess, is I guess it was part of a broader. I thought it would be part of a broader conversation, but I guess my main point is that, kind of returning to the traditional conversation in what girls who want to follow a traditional path think, they, I think, realign with what guys are willing to give, especially in this generation, because of non-traditional lifestyles and because of, I think, what they've been made to accept is really my point.
That doesn't make any make any sense.
Am I understanding her, or at least what she's trying to say, and essentially that she thinks men are doing less, therefore women are doing less?
That's what it's. I mean, it doesn't make any.
But that's what that's what you took from what she said, right? That's what she means.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. She
like
means
over time, we started doing less. Therefore, they took that and said, "Well, if you're gonna do less, then we're gonna do less."
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't.
Okay, it seems like a stretch.
Hold on.
So you stated.
I guess it was part of a broader. I thought it would be part of a broader conversation, but I guess my main point is that, kind of returning to the traditional conversation in what girls who want to follow a traditional path think, they.
So, okay, girls that want to. So I'm gonna stop here. So, with girls that want to follow a traditional path, define one. The girl would have to define what is traditional, right? One, she has to define what a traditional path is. Because to be fair, I've said this before. Women can do whatever they want. Men still have to be the traditional provider, protector, no matter what. That's the unfair part, and that's why men are saying the shit that they're saying. But okay, that's the thing. Okay, let me see.
I think realign with what guys are willing to give, especially in this generation, because of non-traditional lifestyles and because of. I think what they've been made to.
That's literally my face right now. My face is what he's. Yeah. I'm like, huh?
Accept is really my point.
He's great.
Been made to accept.
Women are made to accept. That's what I thought I heard.
That's really my point.
My face is like, what?
Yeah, I'd say, like, obviously not from me because I don't live the traditional lifestyle, which we have decided. But I do have loads of friends who have put up, and even before I got into this job, actually, when I did live the traditional lifestyle at university and all that kind of stuff, people do just kind of almost like want to be with somebody and they'll take it and get treated really badly. And I think that is like something that it's sad when you see your like best friends go through that, because you're like, you're so much better, you're so much more worth that than how they're treating you. And I feel like some men just don't do it right.
Well,
Can I get the obvious out the way?
Please.
Can I get the obvious shit out the way?
Please.
You notice how I'm gonna back up a bit. You notice how you notice how they all look.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Out of all 5 of them girls, okay, 4 of them do not look that good. Sorry.
Correct. I'd say like 1.5.
Okay.
And then, but the half is the one that's talking, so like not even.
Not even. Like she okay. So I hate to say this because I hate to be that guy. I hate being that guy, but it's there. Okay, so this one right here, I don't know what she does. I don't know. That's a no. This one, she opened her. She was okay until she opened her mouth. No. This one, obvious. You could tell the two black girls are gonna be a problem. I can tell you that right now. Okay, I'm sorry, my senses have been going off. And the only other one is this one right here with the little weird ass hat. Like she's the only like hot one or whatever. Like don't get me wrong, LG the big girls need love too, but come on now, like. God.
So funny enough, I saw. I'm gonna say this real quick. The one on the far left, I saw a clip of her in a different podcast with him. She's a Christian witch.
Oh wow! How does that work?
It doesn't work. That they sit there and argue about that too.
How does that work?
He's like, so you're doing the exact opposite of what the Bible's telling you, and she's like, yeah, but I still believe in God. He's like, but
you about to be fried like a motherfucker, boy. Yeah. God's gonna look at you like nigga, what?
This is one of the biggest issues I have with this podcast, and men do it sometimes too, but it's most of the time that you hear it, women. Your anecdotal evidence of your own life experiences do not represent the entire population. And you need to understand that. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about things that happen to 1% of the population as, oh, I see it everywhere. Okay, but if it's 1% of the world, we're not going to make something that affects 90% of the people for something that's only affecting 1% of the population.
Right. If anything, it's going to
understand it.
If anything, it opens up the door to that solution that you're suggesting for that 1% may open it up for the rest of the 90, may damage the other 90.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but I just find it fucking. God, dog, bro. I mean, let me see if they say anything else. Hold on.
Definitely not his best choices.
Not wanting both sides.
Don't do it right.
Well, and I think that it's I think it's on both sides. I think that I see a lot of women not wanting to. They kind of go out. I just don't want to be lonely. Like I'd rather be with someone than be lonely. And I think that.
That's a personal problem.
It creates a settling culture.
Exactly.
And people see,
you think men don't do that too?
Much at our fingertips.
Men have to do it more. If we're gonna be completely technical on some real shit, men are basically taught that we have to settle. Like we just gotta take whoever likes us. We can't really have too many standards, because if we have too many standards, we gotta we're gonna end up alone and stuff, because you just gotta take whatever.
Not even that. We just don't even care about as much. Like a man, I'd be happy if I met a cute girl that works at McDonald's. I don't give a fuck. She could work at McDonald's. I don't care. Like she could work wherever. But you guys want, they gotta make this much money. They gotta be this tall. They gotta have this. Man,
but there are
enough. Be a nice person.
There's men but I know that there are some men out there, right, that would say, well, I would rather have a girl be a certain height. I want her to be this height, right? For us, but for us, it's more suggestive, if you will, versus directive, right? For women, for us, it's like I would like to have a girl that's like anywhere between 5'5" to 5'7", for example. If you're
it's a preference.
Guy, it's more preferential. Like I would like to have a girl with a fat ass, you know what I'm saying? I would like to have a girl with nice titties.
But it doesn't disqualify him.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't completely disqualify. But if she ends up, not having any titties, but she's a nice girl or whatever, I guess we'll take her. But women, on the other hand, are like, no, you have to do this. Exactly. You have to. And that's where I feel like the bullshit needs to stop.
Exactly.
Let me see.
We were not supposed to access this many people. We were supposed to be part of much smaller groups, and I think that it's changed the way that people look at things.
Here we go. This is my favorite dude.
Have never been lonelier.
I really don't feel like women's standards are too low.
Yep.
Gotta be honest with you.
No, I feel like some are very high, but I feel
No. Hold on. This is for Alexis to respond to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just don't feel like women's standards are too low. If they're settling, they're probably actually not settling. They probably are generally probably getting somebody who's equally yoked with them. Generally, that's what that's been my observation.
I I get what you're saying, and I tend to agree.
He's got a good point though, because if the woman is settling, then that means 9 out of 10. If the woman feels like she's settling, 9 out of 10 is probably because she had some way out there thing. You get what I'm saying? Like some way out there standard. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and I think what he's saying too is like, because women tend to be, if you're a 6 or 7, you tend to, you're married, you only taking X, someone above that. But so if you think you're settling, you're probably getting with someone that's on your level.
Yeah, true that.
Inflated values. It's called hoflation.
Hoflation actually is girls that are actually hoeing out there.
Well, have you heard of it before?
I've heard of the term. Yeah, I've heard of the term.
Hoflation. Hoflation, what it actually means is that men today are having to work 10 times as hard to get women that are 10 times less pure and what's the word? Pure and moral aligned as their grandparents.
Yeah.
So they have to work 10 times as hard as their grandparents to get someone that's 10% worse.
Didn't it come from this podcast too? Didn't that term come from this podcast?
That one or
that clip
one.
Or that clip.
I don't know which one, but they talk about it on here for sure.
Because I think I remember hearing that on X or Twitter.
Yeah.
And they were doing that. They were sitting there going over that. And I'm like, that's crazy. When you think about it, it's crazy.
Yeah, the people won't like the term, and that's why they won't think it's real. But ultimately, they're not wrong.
Yeah, because a lot of the unrealistic standards. But let's keep going. We're gonna get.
In some part, I think that people do get what they set out for, and what they, as I said, it's reciprocal. But I also think that girls might be giving a lot, or think that they're giving a lot, or live their life a certain way, and then they accept something that's much less than that.
Well, elaborate on that.
Too.
Yeah, please
I think
do.
people, I know girls who live a very traditional life, and they want to, give everything to their boyfriends, and be very faithful and have a lot of integrity and be very trustworthy. And I can't say the same about their boyfriends, and that's
where are all those women?
Off of the internet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, where are all those women? Because right now, what you're talking about, there's guys out there who are watching this who would pay you whatever you wanted in order to go to wherever these women are that you're talking about.
Well, that's the thing. That's the disparity. They're not.
Who is this?
They're not.
I have no idea.
Social media. They have social media because they had it in college. It's just that's kind of the thing. What's easily acceptable? What's on readily available on YouTube or OnlyFans or whatever pod. It's not necessarily you're getting a hand selection of people who maybe that's not what you're seeing, which I understand. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I do think those women exist, but I do think that a majority of them just get brainwashed by their friends telling them that they don't need a man anymore. That doesn't.
I like her. I like her. I like her. What did I say? 4 out of the 5, wasn't it? And I said the one with the hat. I thought she was onto something. I like her. I like her already.
What you want, so they just play into this
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree on the whole standards too low for women. They just have such low standards. It seems to be the opposite of what I see.
Here's the thing. I'm a big advocate for guys. I'm not knocking what guys are doing. I'm not I'm the last person to carry the pitchfork on that. It's more just I think it's a generational problem where it perpetuates the issue. You see women settling for less. Nice guys think that there's and I'm not saying it starts there. I'm saying it's a circle. It starts the nice guy trope of there's no nice guys out there, and the nice guys think they finished last, and then there's just I just feel like there's a lot.
But they do though.
They're being encouraged within the generation. I mean, I.
That also depends on what you describe as nice too. So that's another thing.
I think so. I see it a lot. We do man on the streets. We talk to people. We talk about dating apps a lot. It's kind of what you find out there.
I still don't know what you're finding out there. I'm honestly.
I like it. I still don't know what you're finding out there. I'm the same way. I'm like, what are you looking at?
I'm confused.
I like the fact. I will give her credit, right? And this one thing about me, I'll try to give credit where credit's due. I will give her credit if she says she's going to bat for men. Okay, cool. And if that's what you really are doing, I respect that. However, I don't agree with how she's saying it. I don't think the standards of women are too low. I don't.
Yeah, she's like, unfortunately, she's part of the problem, and she seems sweet, so it's not like a bad thing. It's obviously not intentional.
Yeah.
But like, again, you're trying to sit there and say that your standards are so low, while at the same time, not her specifically, but women's standards are so low. But then also talking about your man needs a yacht, you need to make 6 figures, you need this, that, and the other thing.
Right, in order to talk to you, in order to have a conversation. This is, and most of the time, and that's the part that kills me. It's in order to initiate a conversation.
Yeah,
that's the part that kills me. It's not to. This is a prerequisite to talk to you, and I feel like a lot of times that's not even. It's not even. You're not even worth that. Like, no.
Is it that you're finding that there's women who are giving too much of themselves to men, or being too I don't actually understand.
I guess what I'm saying is the way that the generation sets up how both of the genders are perceived, and I'm also going off of something that wasn't a prompt. We kind of had a back and forth, and I have been. My show notes were very brief, and so I'm kind of explaining something that I thought would be a broader conversation, and so I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I get where you're coming from.
Like, I'm not dissing guys. I think that guys often are the winners in this situation. I think there are a lot of good guys out there who do feel as though they can't.
You're just not making sense, ma'am. It's not that we think you're against guys.
She's not making sense. Like, she made a blanket statement point and wasn't prepared. I guess she said, she said she was thinking it was going to be a part of a broader show term. You know what I'm saying? But it was, she got called out on it. She wasn't ready to explain what she was talking about. So, so let's get into it.
They can't find.
I think you're right. It's like a vice versa. Like, girls go out there looking for someone. They can't find the high standards they've set, so they lower them in order to get into a relationship.
It's a never-ending cycle.
And then there's guys that go out there and they're like, they're looking for their traditional woman. They kind of can't find her, so they find like a less traditional woman, and that makes them sad too.
Yeah, and the internet, I mean, transparently is.
I mean, she's not
wrong. I think guys think that they need to be doing more. Girls think.
I disagree that it makes them sad.
Upping each other until everyone thinks
to a degree,
and it might just all be more normal than we think. But everyone.
But I'm talking like commitment.
Perpetuated by social media.
On the standards thing, really quick, Nick, can you pull up in the Dropbox podcast infographics folder? It's the hypergamy infographics. And Alexis, to tie this back to the rating 1 to 10 question, which you chose to omit answering to, kind of how this is potentially tied into that is that you have, because you're saying that, well, women are lowering their standards, or they have low standards for men, but I actually think that women have way too high standards.
Unrealistic standards, yep.
Like, I don't think it's an issue of men having these crazy high standards and women having really low standards. I mean,
I agree with you. I completely agree. I was the one arguing reciprocity earlier, and normally standing up for guys. I think I was given an out of context prompt and nothing to go off of.
Seems like excuses to me.
Yeah, she sounds defensive. Like,
a little bit.
They just wanted you to elaborate. You just kind of threw a bunch of long words together trying to make it sound eloquent. Like, just say your opinion.
Right, exactly. I think what it is that she kind of got called out on it and she wasn't ready for it. Ronan, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Ronan, totally not a Souls guy. Definitely not a Souls guy. But he's been playing that Souls. I know you've been playing it. Hope you're doing well, Ronan. Good to see you. But yeah, I'm just like, yo, this is crazy.
Wait, so are you, because you provided that in your pre-show notes, so I'm just going off of what you had written. You mentioned, your girlfriends were, I guess, kind of, wait, let me see, I don't want to misquote here, but, you said your girlfriends of mine who accept so much less. It just occurs to me, for example, with the rating scale of the 1 to 10 thing is, a lot of women are kind of have an overinflated sense of self, of their own attractiveness or value in the dating marketplace, not their human value, but their value in the dating marketplace. And so they have an expectation of partnering with a man who, quite frankly, is out of their league. And that's why the question of asking someone to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10 is actually very important, because if you don't have an accurate self-assessment of where you potentially stand or do stand in the dating marketplace, then you're going to be shooting outside of your league. And this is where women get into trouble, because as a man, if I try to have casual sex, if I shoot my shot with a woman who's outside of my league, hey, let's have casual sex. That's not verbatim how I would go about it, but that's my angle.
The point. Yeah, I get the point.
I get instant upfront rejection.
Oh, yes, to
I don't
clarify.
get a conversation with a girl who's out of my league. I don't get a date with a girl who's outside my league. I certainly don't get sex with a girl who's outside my league. Now, here's where women get into trouble. As women, men will welcome easy access to sex. So as a woman, you can secure sex from men who are
Way above your
outside of your league. It can be looks, it could be success, it could be socioeconomic status, whatever it may be. You can have a normal woman who's never achieved anything in her life having sex with a man who's at the apex of either looks, status. He could be a professional NBA player, NFL player, et cetera, et cetera. She could be I'm not making a judgment call on here, but she's a nobody, right? A nobody girl can go and sleep with an NFL, NBA player, famous rapper, Drake. Drake probably fucks a bunch of nobody women, no offense to them. They're
He's not wrong. He ain't wrong.
probably beautiful, but nobody status. So now, but those women who can sleep with men outside their league are never most likely going to be able to secure commitment from those men. So what ends up happening is you have women who they think they're here for women. Your league is not the men that you can sleep with. Your league is the men that you can get commitment from and who will marry you.
I wish I'd known that when I'm.
In other words, men that wanted to deal with you.
That'll stay.
Yeah, exactly. Like what was it? There was a saying that was saying, women. There was like some woman said, women could fuck who they want. Men can fuck who they can. And then, and another one is the vice versa was men could marry who they want. Women could marry who they can if they can.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
like, well, that's true. That's exactly what that is. So let's hear what she, because he's got a point. Like, I mean, that's the unfortunate thing. Like the leagues. So it's the leagues. If we're gonna go for the league, it's different. The leagues are evaluated different, and I think that's what I think women are not getting. It's the leagues. They're trying to merge the term together. They think it's the same thing. They think and it's clearly not for between.
And they want to absolve themselves of I don't want to say mistakes, but basically mistakes. I mean, actions, no matter what they are, have consequences. And I'm not saying everyone feels a certain way, but the more things you do that are off-putting to more men, the longer you live, it compounds, and then you're less likely to find the type of person you want, and then you're going to have to settle. So you got to think ahead of this stuff. It's the same thing men do with work.
Yeah,
that's why they go and start work, and they work overtime, and they're out all the time and working 3 jobs.
For somebody like this that's just gonna sit at home and not do anything. Sorry, I refuse. I'm sorry, exactly. I can't do that. I told that I'll be by myself before that happens, because I'm not going to sit there.
I actually want a housewife. I would love to be able to pay for everything for me and my family. And I'm not saying she can't do anything. I wouldn't be like that. I'm not radical or anything crazy, but I would love to be able to do that.
I wouldn't mind if, and this is a big if I feel like I can trust her to do what she needs to do, because as it stands, a lot of these women are just doing this or seemingly doing this just to secure themselves in a spot. They don't really, that's one of the things I've said about Red Pill, right? That has a point. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate this podcast because they, for whatever reason, because they feel like, oh, well, this is just Red Pill content. And I'm like, no. It's got a point. This is discussions that need to be had, for one. Two, it's exposing things that need to be exposed.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you disagree, like, you want to educate somebody? If you really disagree, and the more that you disagree, wouldn't you want to educate someone on the other side and try to drag them to your side?
If you want to go that, or at the very least, make them aware of what you stand for. At the very least, you don't have to harm. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. The other end of that, though, however, is when the other problem with that, though, however, is when you have people that do not think, I guess, that are not as open to have that conversation. To be like, oh well, no, I don't want to deal with that. Just saying. But,
well, they, of course, but I think that's a problem in general. Like, people can never deal with different opinions.
That is something that needs to be fixed. I agree. So let's get into what she's saying. We still got a little bit left.
I was like 14, 15, 16, 17 when I started unfortunately having sex, because Jesus Christ, that made a lot more sense why I never got a boyfriend.
Well, see, that's the thing. Maybe she was trying to get sex from guys that only viewed her as that, and she just and like I said, I do understand that women think differently. So like you're trying to get a commitment out of guys that want casual. That once again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier, where people want competitive stuff from in the casual department. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you don't want to sit up here and have the same rule set, the same competitive rule set in a fucking casual Call of Duty lobby. Like, you don't want that. Why? You know what I'm saying?
That's a great example right there of a great reason for this, whether you agree or disagree. I know you said you didn't like it when we talked a couple days ago, but a good reason for this type of a podcast to exist. She just said, her own words, she wishes she would have known all that stuff before, so she didn't do the things that she did. So it's great for young women to see other women recognizing their mistake and them not being able to, you can't go back and change it.
Yeah.
You have to start on this when you're young. But still, they're all going to look at it and be like, that's not me. I don't need no man. I'm a boss ass bitch type shit. It's just, you're not going to learn.
Right. Yeah. You need people because some people, I will agree on the fact that this, I'll talk to this about in my Strip Club Chronicles videos. Like I said, sex work is work, but it's not for everybody. And I've always said that. I tell that to anybody. And the problem is with a lot of this stuff, right? Especially with a lot of the girls picking up on this with the OnlyFans. Once again, there's nobody there to tell them that this may not be for you. Like, this may not be your thing. Because at the end of the fucking day, this stuff it's a lot. There's a lot of things that go on. There's guys that you're literally playing with people, with guys' emotions. Even with the girls that do these thirst trap and shit, you're playing with guys' emotions. You're playing with these men. You're playing with people, to get what you want. You're playing the game to get what you want. You get what I'm saying? And if you don't have a modicum of respect to have some boundaries set, to have other people talk about, to have your boundaries set, to have, to put your boundaries out there and have them respect your boundaries, then we're going to have a problem.
Yep. And put your foot down when they cross them.
Exactly. You can't put your foot down after the fact.
Yeah.
Too many people are letting shit happen, and then now they want to put their foot down. No. You do that beforehand. Now it's one thing. It's one thing when it's like, you don't see it coming. That's different. We're not talking about that shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if it's right in front of your face. It's there. It's obvious. It's oblivious. You can tell it. You got that woman's intuition, right? Massive air quotes there, because I think that's bullshit. You got the woman's intuition, and that all of that shit's going off. Your spidey sense is tingling, and you still get hit. Imagine Spider-Man having his spider sense go off, and he still gets his ass beat.
Yep.
That makes no fucking sense to me. It's not like fucking Venom or any other villain or anti-hero that can get past Peter Parker's spider sense, because there were enemies that could do that, right? It's not that type of situation. Your spidey sense is going off and you still getting hit. You need to learn. You got to know how to duck. You feel me? Something's got to happen.
Well, look, everybody wants the best that they can get. So obviously you want to get the hot guy, but here's the problem. That hot guy, okay, cool. I can use her for sex. And so again, that's the way a lot of women get into trouble. And here's the difference, right? So as a guy, if we can sleep with a girl, we can probably get that girl in a relationship. But as a woman, if you can sleep with a man, it's not clear to me if you can get him into a relationship. So, and also, we'll sleep with women and just using as a disqualifier, just based on looks. Just your looks, we will 100% disqualify you from a relationship, but we won't disqualify you from a sexual relationship.
That's true. That's
He's
true.
not wrong.
He's not wrong. But then there's sometimes where some people you just I don't care what you look.
For sure.
Nah, dog. Like Like I know some people that wouldn't dare touch this girl right here. I'm not trying to be funny. Like
I'm people.
You ain't right. You ain't right.
No thanks.
You said, baby, we going first date going to the gym. I can tell. First date we go to the gym. Let's go. I just want to see your work ethic, baby. I just want to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit's weird to me.
Whereas for women, it's the opposite. So for women, for you to sleep with a man, to have sex with a man, he typically has to be at least attractive enough for you to be in a relationship with him. Mm-hmm. So that's a big differential. That's where women get into trouble. And that's why the rating question is important, because if you don't have a good sense of where you stand, you're going to be aiming for guys outside of your league. You're going to get used. And
I also think that women tend to rate themselves off of self-esteem rather than off of physical looks.
Yeah.
This is what I've noticed many times is like, obviously there's women who I've seen in this show who have given ridiculous numbers in comparison to how they look. And when I ask them why, they basically say it's because for me it's self-esteem. What I'm telling you is the personification of how I feel about
I think I'm a 10,
my
so I'm a 10.
self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's not really what the question's asking, though. No.
Yeah, that's true. That is indeed true. Unfortunately, that is indeed true. I will agree with that one. Read Now Zero says there are no 10s on that panel. You wasn't lying, dog. You was not lying.
a normal woman who's
I don't see any 10s on this panel, dog. I don't see any 10s.
Nope.
Dog. Not a single one.
I don't see any 8s.
I see a couple, like maybe a 7.5. Like she's cool.
Like 2 7s, maybe.
She's cool. I haven't she's okay. I haven't seen all of her.
I count that one, the fourth one, as another 7. I could do without the hat, but I'm not hating. She can take it off.
I think the hat was probably for a theme or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just to be funny. I don't know. We don't know the context of that clip. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be funny, and it's and a lot of women that look at this, or a lot of people that will look at this and be like, well, you're not this either. You're not that. Well, we're not the one. I'm not the one going on OnlyFans.
Well, and I mean,
I'm not the one
again,
thirst
it's
trapping.
about your judgment. Like I don't know what you would consider yourself. I won't ask you to rate yourself, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I'm probably about a 6, maybe. Yeah, probably about a 6 or 7, 6.5. But I'm short. You know, I'm in decent shape, but mainly I'm short. But deadass, I get told by strangers I look like Ryan Gosling, literally 2-3 times a week. So obviously I'm good looking enough, but I don't think it's not like I sit here and say I'm a 9, an 8, or a 10. It's just not realistic. Yeah. You're not on par with the top echelon of models, and it's not about what you are or aren't. It's what you think you are compares to what everyone perceives you to be.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that some people just need to. It's sad. Like I said, we were taught. Excuse me. We were taught as men early to deal with, and this is the problem that I have. Like a lot of us were taught, we have to deal with reality. right? That's why I be like, when people say be realistic, I'm like, I literally roll my eyes because we are taught as men, we have to be realistic. We have to.
You have to be.
We have to be, but yet nobody tells the women the same thing. So I'm like, don't tell me shit. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm sorry. I know that may sound selfish, mean, or whatever the fuck to anybody. I don't care. Personally, don't tell me shit that you don't try to tell me shit, and then you let these women in here get a pass. I don't, because you want to sleep with them because you think, oh, no, they like these people are basic, like, but some of these girls are below basic, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, and if I were to put them in, because I know if I were to put them in like in a club sense, right? If they were to work in a club, I want to say 1, 2, maybe this one. I have to see a full body for this one, but I know for sure this one, 1, 2, 3 of these girls will be working day shift. Okay. Now, for those of you, I will explain this. I will explain the dynamic because strip clubs have 2 main dynamics, right? There's little outliers, but we're gonna go into 2 main dynamics. You have your daytime dancers; those are either the older girls, the ones that are less attractive, the ones that are got some defects on them, whatever, whatever. We gonna go there. Okay, we're not gonna go too far in it, but you get the idea, right? And then the night girls are normally the girls that you would see like on the posters, like when they do the flyers, the girls that you would mainly see on the music videos. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. That type of thing, right? The problem is you got girls that, once again, the same thing that we're not being told, the same thing we're being told they're not. We tell them to be for real, be realistic. You really think a guy's going to look at this girl on the right and think, oh, I want her? No, more often than not unless you're in the big girls. But even then, that's a niche at that point. It's niche at that point. You know what I'm saying? And I know me and you differ on a few things when it comes down to the whole traditional thing. Like I said, I personally wouldn't mind, right? But I think the problem is a lot of men aren't asking. I don't know if the panel added up would equal 10. Damn. Damn. Hell. Well, since we doing it, this girl right here would make up for at least these 2.
Yeah,
she'll make up.
Cancels them out.
She'll cancel at least these 2 out. Like at least she'll cancel these 3 out. It's like she's got a strong face. She looks like she's got like a strong face.
Yeah.
With the makeup on it, heavily involved with the makeup.
Yeah, facts. And one thing I find funny too is like a lot of this attitude from these women nowadays is because of simps. And it's ironic enough because the guys that keep them in check are typically the masculine men that the women want anyway. So they end up going for the people that put them in check because those tend to be the leaders and the more dominant ones. So like all you simps that are getting all the attention back are being used and then transforming them into the people that put you last that you're complaining about. So stop simping over these fucking women. Stop going on their OnlyFans. Stop subscribing to the shit. Go out and talk to a woman in a public place.
I have no. I'm gonna disagree with you on that. Right? I'm gonna disagree with you on OnlyFans because one, I put it like this because like I said, I work with girls that do shit. So I get where you're coming from though. You're not wrong completely, right? So you can still talk to these type of women, right? You can talk to the women that do the OnlyFans, right? Do all that shit. I think, but it's also you have to realize that. You also have to realize certain things. You also have to go into it with a certain mentality, right? You got like one thing I've learned how to do, or I'm learning how to do, is to give people especially females, the same energy I get back, right? If I do certain things and you're not as appreciative of it, I'm stepping back. That's it. Like that's how easy I'm making this. Okay. If I try to, hey, I try to talk with you and try to give you this information, like I try to, hey, I'm telling you this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm working on, and you never reach out to me, like you never talk to me, you ever at all, and you only call me when you need me, I'm not fucking with you. Like,
yeah,
Like,
just to clarify, I didn't mean don't talk to OnlyFans people. I meant don't be subscribing to the OnlyFans people that are below average, inflating their sense of ego. Pertaining to what we were talking about. Like, I don't care. You can do what you want. I don't care about OnlyFans, whatever. But that's these subpar people or somewhat average women making millions of dollars a month.
Yeah, and
they don't. Not. I mean, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of. I would imagine that's mostly simps. I don't know how else you would make that much money.
No, that's true. I think
a month.
I think I think honestly, it's one of those things where people they need to you need to go in there and gauge for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to gauge for yourself. Understand that one, this is entertainment at the end of the day, and if you're not being entertained, and I think like once again, I think what simps do is that they don't care if as long as they're getting some form of attention, they don't care about being used, and that's the problem. Like, if I'm going to pay, you have to think about this like an actual paying customer, right? If I'm going to pay X amount a month, especially if I'm putting more into you, right? If I'm doing, because it's not only just a monthly thing, it's also options where you can do like custom content, you can do pay for, do all of that. If I'm paying that plus the monthly rate, then I need to be getting some kind of, it needs to be, you have to have good customer service. Let me just put it like that. If that makes sense. So, and you work, I think you work in that kind of field where like, if you're dealing with people, right? Like, once again, you're somebody comes, it's like somebody coming up to you and say, hey, look, I don't know. Do you talk about your job? Are you able to talk about your job a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be, because I don't want to like, go into.
I just can't go into specifics, like details. But yeah, I can talk about a lot of it.
So you do with like what, cars, right? Like car salesman.
Yeah.
Car sales. Okay.
Sales.
Okay. Sales and with cars, right? So if I'm a customer and I'm coming to you and say, hey man, I want a used car. I want a used car. I want a used car. I don't, just give me a used car. I feel like I deserve a Bentley. And they look raggedy. Right? Now I know looks aren't everything, but more often than not, if somebody say, hey man, just give me the best car on the lot, and they don't have nothing, and you go through all of that shit with them and you realize they ain't got nothing, why would you do that? Why would you entertain that? And it's the same thing with some of these OnlyFans girls. Like, you have to have that same approach. Similar approach. It's like, hey, if I'm paying this is what I expect as a customer. Give me this.
Part of that is why I think that, that's why it would disqualify for me. And I know that's where you and I differ, but I agree with you on that instance where, like, that customer is going to think that. Now, first of all, I think that obviously most of the big time people, all those chats that you're having with them, first of all, they're paying for it. It's not even her. Okay, you're paying for people to represent them, which is worse. But on top of that, like, I don't know, the whole OnlyFans thing in general, you've got that customer service relationship type thing. So even if you have like the most tame OnlyFans in the world, I'm going to assume the same thing that you just assumed for all of them, no matter what. So to try and sit here and be like, oh, you are interested in me, but you have an OnlyFans, I'm not going to take the time and money that it would take for me to court like somebody that I'm interested in. I'm not going to spend the hundreds of dollars on the first couple of dates to see if I even want to date you when I know that the OnlyFans thing is going to be an issue in general.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair. No, I mean, and that's, and like we talked about before, that's up to you, right? And I've told dancers this, like especially girls that do OnlyFans, like dancers and girls that do OnlyFans, I'm like, look, there's guys out there that simply will disqualify you for the simple fact that you do OnlyFans, right? Your OnlyFans could be just you being tame. And the fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, but OnlyFans was originally created for artists, for like people like that do artists and stuff. But the girls that did OnlyFans,
some would say they are artists.
Yeah, they were like literal, like music artists would come in there. They would give like behind the scenes shit. They would pay. Yeah. They would get behind the scenes. That same structure that OnlyFans has, but it would be just imagine artists doing that. Like so, somebody
Well,
like
let me ask you a question. Your opinion.
my opinion.
You're because you said you don't have a problem dating someone that has an OnlyFans, right?
I don't. Nope.
Okay, that's fine. So you're in bed with your girlfriend, whatever. You guys are just chilling,
Right.
and she's texting a guy that she knows from work, and she's texting him sexual shit. Are you gonna be mad?
If I know it's from work, no. If I
No, not OnlyFans. I'm saying like her day job, like somebody she knows in the real world. You're gonna be mad?
if she you said from I thought you said from work. Oh, okay.
I did say from work, but I meant like
I'm thinking because you know where I work at. You know where I work
two
at.
separate things. Yeah, I mean like the real world. She knows him from the real world for wherever, old school friends,
Okay.
whatever. Would you be mad?
Not. I wouldn't be mad. I would be. First thing I would be was be like,
in
what
the
the
bed
fuck?
with you, you wouldn't be mad.
Okay, in the bed, I would be curious. I wouldn't be mad. No, I would be curious on what the fuck's going on. I would be mad if, and I need you to follow me, right? I would be mad if she starts hiding information, right? Or she starts, oh well, this is nobody. This is OnlyFans. This isn't. Oh, well, why are you looking at my phone?
What if she just straight up tells you like, oh, this is an old childhood friend. He's sexting me right now.
Okay, I would be concerned. I'm like, why?
Okay, so now
you're talking about committed relationship, right? Committed relationship.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's your girl.
Okay, cool.
So okay,
my girl
so
or my turn?
Your girl or what?
My girl or my turn?
No, but now let's flip it.
I'm joking.
Now instead of a friend that she knows from the real world, it's one of her customers that she's doing the same thing with in your bed. How is that any different?
Well, for me, I feel like I get where you're coming from. I get what the concern would be. I personally would be like, if it's work related, and we're sitting in the bed, like if we're sitting in the bed work related, I think I would tell her like, hey, look, have a time for that. Like, why would you do that at like 3:00 in the morning? We out here chilling in the bed. You know what I'm saying?
Because he paid me $200, babe.
Right now, like really, he paid you $200 right now, and you're off work.
Yeah, so I could tell him how good about the Glock 3000.
The Glock 3000. See, now you're just making shit up, and it ain't working.
No, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't feel
get
that
it.
it's any different from that. Like, I don't want my girl talking about that sexual shit with anyone. Paying, unpaying, it doesn't matter. Whether, regardless, it's just because if I were to go out, like, even best case scenario, it's your girl, you guys glow up together. She ends up going huge. Now you guys are multimillionaires. Anytime you leave the fucking house, everyone in the room is going to be talking about how they've seen your girl naked and seen her get, doing X, Y, or Z on OnlyFans.
And you paid for it. Stupid ass. Like, well, I got it for free. I got it for free. Oh, okay. I mean, I've had somebody say that before, and I thought, like I said, it's not far fetched to say that. Like, it's not far fetched, and I get it. And I know some people, it would be, damn, dog, everybody see my girl. But I'm like, when you start realizing that there's a lot of girls out there who do the same thing for fucking free, like maybe it's just that my experiences that
I don't think anything of any of it's good.
I personally, I just like, okay, you pay for it though. I bet you pay for it.
To be fair, I don't think it's good for men or women. It's not just women that I don't think it's good for. I don't think it's good for either side to be doing that like crazy, but
fair enough. But like I said, I understand and I get the concern. And like I said, I've had that argument before. And I used to be that person. I used to be like, I wouldn't want my girl, doing that for everybody. But then, personally, I think that once again, maybe it's just my experiences with certain people, like, that they're gonna end up doing it anyway. That a lot of girls do, unfortunately, play around like that. They'll give you a version. They'll sell you on a version of themselves that's okay. They'll give you one version, and then they'll turn around and say, okay, well, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people that lie on both sides. But let's say you take them at face value, and they may not tell you at first. But like, you can't sit here and say you're willing to accept one thing because most women are deceiving. like yes, I understand that, especially nowadays, the percentage of women that are going to be what's the word, more traditional, we'll say, just to follow along, more traditional is going to be a lot less. That doesn't mean you should just settle, like what they were talking about, because of that.
I think I think a lot of it too is unnatural. I think it's also unrealistic expectations. That's the other thing that on both ends. I'm gonna say this: unrealistic expectations on both ends, right? A lot of guys expect this, and this is the thing. A lot of guys expect a woman that's that doesn't have any or much sexual experience. But then they want, and like I think like how we talked about before, and I like I said before, bless you.
Thank you.
Because I had to do that earlier. I know how that goes. If a lot of people wouldn't complain, a lot of guys especially would not complain about this. The only reason why people are complaining about this is because everybody else, it's not exclusive to them. If a girl, like what was it I tell you? What did I tell you? It was if a girl that you were with was sending you nudes and all of this stuff, right? And you knew it was exclusively for you. Nobody else has seen it. This is completely for you. Okay, that whole concept of OnlyFans, if it was specifically for you, you wouldn't have much. In general, most men would not have a problem with that unless they were prudes.
Well,
right?
that's aligning with what I'm saying. Like, men want them to be just for them. Like, and that's from top to bottom, from pictures to sexual partners to whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's just from, it's not necessarily even a sexual thing. They want their women to be their women. They don't want it to be everyone's woman. And I think one of the ways that I don't remember who I'm quoting exactly, but I like the way that they phrased it. Men are in the dating pool. Men are salesmen, and women are marketers. And when you get into because men are always selling themselves, and women are always marketing. They run passive game, where they don't go up and just start flirting and ask people out. They put themselves in a position to be asked out, or a position to be around the people that they're interested in. But so it's expected that when you get in a relationship, the man stops selling himself to other women, but the woman never stops marketing. Like you get in there, all these, the club's a good example. And you work in the club, so you'll understand this. There's a lot of things that go down at the club, especially with people that are, it's more so sexual there. It doesn't necessarily always have to be, but like people go there to blow off steam. They get drunk. Typically there's alcohol involved. They're grinding on each other. So like if you have a girl that's going out all the time, what do you expect's going to happen?
Okay. You still? Oh, there was more.
No.
I thought there was more to it. I was keep going. I was like, go ahead, keep going. I was like, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go. I'm chilling. I honestly, like I said, personally, like I said, the reality of the situation, right? And like I said, because working in the clubs, it's hilarious because people think, I shit you not, I've had people that think all this shit goes down and all of this happens all the time. I shit you not, the stuff that people thinks happens all the time, not as often as you think. That's the reality, right? And
I'm
like
not even talking strippers. I'm saying like grinding, like people like just like
dancing in a club.
Like,
I'm talking regular nightclubs. I'm talking even in regular nightclubs now. We're talking in regular nightclubs because sometimes that doesn't even happen as much as you think it. Now the grinding part maybe is a little bit more.
Yeah, and you don't see people grinding and making out all the time.
Not all the time. No.
Friday,
if anything,
Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, I'm telling you, it doesn't happen as much as you think. Now, if they are making out with somebody, it's probably their girlfriends that they came with. If the girls are, but it's not like a random, like more. Well, there is a few random guys, I will say, but I haven't worked in like a club in a minute. I used to MC at clubs, but a lot of the people would stay with their people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be some people that will mingle with other people, but then like a lot of the girls, especially nowadays, they get real protective. You know, especially if it's a guy that doesn't look the part, that doesn't look attractive. You know, they're protecting that girl that that they're trying to go for. You know what I'm saying? Which still I think is fucking stupid. If you're gonna be out here, tooting your butt out, twerking, you can't get mad at if a guy wants to get to know, get to pick up on
Exactly.
that. Like I said, personal opinion.
That's my point, right? Like, there's obviously more chance of something like that happening at, let's say, a nightclub on a Friday night than, let's say, a movie theater, right?
Right.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, we can agree on that.
So, you meet this girl and she consistently goes out to the club every single night. It's probably a red flag.
Probably. Possible. Once again, that's depending on the person. But yes, I get your point.
Yeah, and I'm just somebody that I'm going to operate on probability. So every little thing that you're doing and everything that I'm doing is either increasing or decreasing, our chances of being compatible or working in the future. Fair. Or even being successful. It doesn't even need to just be dating, but there's a risk to everything.
Sure. No, and you're right. And I like I said, I like that because like I said, I like to have different opinions with this. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, me personally, I'm a little bit more laid back with it. And there are certain things that there will come a time where I'll be like, hey, all right, you doing too much. All right, I get it. You may have to tone back a little bit, or at least be aware because sometimes people do shit and they're not aware of it. Like, look, you got a nice shape on you. You go out, you wear that dress. Dudes are gonna talk to you. Okay, you got to know how to handle yourself. Don't be sitting up here doing all of that. Oh well, my boyfriend does this, that, and the third. Oh, my boyfriend do this. Don't put me into your shit. And I'm especially if I'm not there. And I hate when girls do that shit. I'm not there, and I'm out here doing my thing, and she goes out one night, and girl goes out one night, and she's, oh my boyfriend will beat you up. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you getting me involved with. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
And then you out here that's one thing I won't deal with is known troublemakers, like people that will go out and do that shit to set up trouble.
Instigators.
Yeah. That's the word, instigators. Yeah, that will instigate the shit. And you go out there, you go get some attention. You're gonna be out here doing all that shit. That to me personally, that's where if you're gonna go out instigating shit, no, I'm not dealing with that shit. I get it. You want to be confident in me, you know what I'm saying? I respect that. Oh, you want to be confident in your man or whatever. That's fine. But you being confident in your man does not mean you put your man in danger. And this happens a lot within the Black community. I have to say that. I feel like I have to say that a lot of women, especially a lot of younger women, they want to, they for some reason, I hate it, and I hate when, and I know a lot of races of women do this, but I've noticed it more within the Black community. They will try to test their man or put their man in positions where he has to physically defend her. You know what I'm saying? And I don't fuck with that. I don't believe physically, if you can avoid physical confrontation, do it. Cool. But if you can't do it, if it's unavoidable, or if you have to, say your family's in immediate danger and the only thing you can do is put your hands on somebody, by all means, handle your business and make sure they get the picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's my stance on that. If it ever comes down to it, I don't know if you have a family, I know you have dogs and stuff, but I don't, if you have if somebody hurting your dog, right? If somebody's about to put hands on your dog, I know your dog can handle this themselves. But if somebody puts a hand on your dog, I know you prepared to go in there and put the paws on somebody for hitting your dog. Look at him.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna do anything. He's a sweet boy. But yes, I would be prepared to put hands on anyone.
Right, exactly. And really. that's the mentality that a lot of people need. I think that's the issue that I have with a lot of dating, because a lot of that is that instigating shit. A lot of people are instigating. A lot of people are, oh, I want my man to take care of me. I want, once again, unrealistic expectations. They want their man to, take care of them and in every facet, while they sit out there and do and do outlandish shit. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is like I told a female friend of mine it is protection isn't always just me standing in front of you and get away from my girl type shit. Protection can be something as simple as, hey, look, I know you want to go out tonight. All right, cool, go out tonight, have fun, but do not go to club. Don't go to this club tonight. Don't go to Club A. Because I've been hearing news. I heard on the news the other night, they just got that Club A just got shot up. So you can go anywhere else tonight. If you want to go to the club, cool, I ain't tripping. Go to Club B or C, but do not go to Club A tonight. All right?
Yep.
To me, that's how simple protection can be, right? Now, if I get a call from my girl saying, hey, they're shooting up the club, and I find out that she's at Club A, that's a problem. Because now you've disrespected me, and I told you, hey, look, I'm looking out for you. I already said I'm not going to sit up here and be that controlling ass dude and say, don't go out tonight. I'm telling you, you can go wherever the fuck you want, just don't go here. And you decide to go here instead. You've already, to me, that shows you disrespecting me. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? That's what I draw the line at. Because like I said, I give people their freedom to do whatever they need to do. That's fine. Right? But if I see something that's a danger, that like, hey, look, you might not want to go there. Don't do that. I'm looking out for you. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then you turn around and do it anyway? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Like, I would never tell somebody what not to do, but like the boundary conversation we had earlier, I will put my foot down and I'll tell you what my boundaries are. And if it's something that we can't get over, so be it, that it's not meant to be, and we can just go our separate ways peacefully. I'm not going to just wait until you cross the boundary knowing that you're going to do it and then deal with it later.
Yeah, the instigated part. Like, and I've talked to girls who that do only, like, that have started or never done OnlyFans, like girls that do OnlyFans and or start OnlyFans and don't tell their boyfriends or their significant others, right? I'm against that. Like, no, like if you wanted to do it and your partner said no, okay, and y'all were together before this and if you never done it before, okay, and you want to do it, your partner's like, nah, I'm cool on that, don't do it. Then then y'all that's a conversation that y'all got to talk out. But if what gets me is if you're doing this already, and it's even worse if they met you doing this, right? If they met you through OnlyFans or they met you through the nightclub or through these things, right? And they tell you, okay, look, I know you go out every weekend. I know you do this, that, and the third, but hey, I'm gonna need you to stop. Well, you're gonna have a harder time to kind of convince them to stop because you accepted it. You know what I'm saying? You either accepted it or you met them through that you met them through that avenue and they presented themselves in a way that you like. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of I guess gray area stuff that can
turn a hoe into a housewife.
True. And that's on both ends. That's men and women, by the way. There are male hoes out there. What would we call a male hoe?
Gigolo.
That'll work. I mean, and there's people out there, that are gigolo. Oh, okay, that'll work. Gigolo. All right, bet. So yeah, Ronan said it too. He said it's gigolo. All right, bet. There's people out there that I guess also too. I think it's a jealousy thing. Right, and this is what I mean by that, right? Like you got the person, you're with a partner, right? That is, how do I put this? That knows how to. That's good with people. You know what I'm saying? You get what I mean? There's people that are naturally like outgoing, and they have a natural gravitas about them. Cool. Mm-hmm. And you get with that person. You may not have that gravitas, or it may have to be developed under the certain conditions, or you don't have it yet for whatever reason, right? You get with this person and you get jealous because that person has a gravitas about them. People are drawn to them. If you're going to be that jealous type of person, then you don't need to be with them. I'm just going to be real with you.
Facts.
I just got to, and that's not just with with girls that like people that do like OnlyFans. That's like people that get with entertainers, that type of thing. If you get with like somebody that's an entertainer, a known entertainer or a known popular person, and they have that thing with them or whatever, even if they're not popular, you get with that person that's a good people person. They go like say y'all go out like to like a little bar or whatever. Y'all go out shoot pool, and every time y'all go out to shoot pool, people always come to that person. They're always talking to them, and and you kind of feel it. If you get jealous, if you're that type of person, you don't need to be with them. I
agree with you, but I also think you can agree that there's a difference between you and a girl going to a bar, and when you get to the bar, that that nobody knows either of you, and everyone turns to look at your girl because she's good looking, versus your girl going online or going somewhere and being like, everyone look at me, look at me, look at me. Like
right.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
And I get the same attention.
Right. They both get the same attention. One is more, well, I wouldn't say organic.
But that's what it is, right? She's not asking for it. It's just happening versus her asking for it. And if she's asking for it, like, what's the purpose of you asking for the male attention from someone else if you're supposed to be my girl?
True. I mean, like I said, once again, you get the point. I get the point. It's fair.
And that kind of goes along with the disrespect thing that you're saying. That's how I view it, as straight disrespect. Right. You're searching for someone to lust after you while I'm here.
Right. In front of my face.
Yeah, exactly.
In front of my face. Like, yeah, that part I get. And that's a good point. Like I said, I get that. But like I said, if it's a part of your job, right? If that's a part of your job, like, and I've had people, I shit you not. I shit you not. This is before the club I was at. The other club I worked at shut down. Had a dancer friend that I knew, or that was dealing with something similar to this. She was actually dealing with a guy, and the guy that she had met, they had met at the club in particular. And because I asked these questions beforehand, because I try to like get an idea, because I don't want to like give advice to people without getting proper information.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there, she was telling me about, oh, this guy, he wants me to stop dancing, and I'm kind of pissed off, I'm kind of bummed out about it. And so I was just going down the list of questions. So I'm like, well, so what about the like what kind of guy is he? Like, what does he do? Well, he doesn't, he makes money doing XYZ, he does, he makes a little bit of nice money or whatever. And matter of fact, I actually, and then like, I'm like, did you meet him here or something? Like, were y'all in it? Like, was he one of your customers or something like that? Or like your clients or whatever? He was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, he was. And I'm like, well, baby, I was like, well, he can't get mad. Like, I can't do it. Like, he can't get mad. It was part of the, he fell for the charm. He liked it. he wanted it.
Well, let's also say, like, I mean, what's the reason, you would know more than me, what's the reason most women dance or do OnlyFans?
Dance specifically, or OnlyFans. The money is a lot. Of course, a lot.
It's
quicker.
Probably most of the reason, right?
Money,
like, that's most of the
money
reason.
to pay for things for like their. A lot of the girls go to school. A lot of the girls that
they're for whatever the case, but it's typically for money.
It's money for. Oh, okay, that's what you're trying to go with. I was like,
yeah.
you asked for whatever reason.
I know it's. It may be for medical bills. It may be for school. It may be for whatever. But it's typically money. They want money for whatever reason. So
right.
If they were to,
and the money's quicker. And the money's way quicker than a regular.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Way fucking quicker. I can't even. And it's cash mostly. So you can't whatever. But like. So you're telling me that if a girl met a man, even though she was stripping, that man could fully fund her entire lifestyle, that she wouldn't stop or shouldn't stop? If he's willing to give you the money you're already trying for, but you still want to go and do that, that would scream something weird to me.
Fair. That also could mean that she just wants to. So there's a difference. So the girls, if you're talking about the girls that are doing it strictly for the money, that they don't care about the entertainment factor, they don't like it anymore. They just do it for the money. Those girls that would be an ideal situation for them. Does that make sense? That they would love that if a guy can come in there, take them away like Calgon. I'm telling my age, but Calgon, take them away.
Yeah.
from the shit.
Well, let's use OnlyFans though. It's a little better of an example,
right?
Because a lot of those girls don't want to get rid of the money.
Right. Well, OnlyFans, especially with OnlyFans, because OnlyFans they can get more by, and that's the other problem that I kind of have with OnlyFans too.
By doing less.
They can get more by doing essentially less, right? And that's there's a big quote asterisk.
Yeah, because it's still a lot of work, I'm sure, but
they're doing less in a perceived sense. They're not. Well, I'm not going out stripping. I'm not an actual stripper. Which that's the argument that I've heard from girls.
Thing.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm not actually going out there in the clubs. I'm at home, or I'm in the comfort of my own home doing this, right? Which I still kind of I question the validity of a lot of these girls anyway. That's my personal thing when it comes to the OnlyFans. I'm like, I don't care, bro. Like, if you're not really out there in these streets doing the shit, like that's like me being a thug online. I could be an OnlyFans thug. I can. Thug online. That would be funny as hell. Why don't they do that? They do have that. That's what they got a lot of rappers for. I'm sorry. Did I call out your favorite rapper? Oops. Sorry, not sorry. But anyway, E-thuggin, boy. That'll be a new one. Let's do that. Let's do it. E-thugs. You can be the anytime East Side. East side of any hood you wanted to be. We can make up hood names. Do it AI. Hey, with AI we can generate hood names.
Oh yeah. Make sure you get me a good one.
I'm the CEO of Vertzville. That's Vertzville. East side of Vertzville. I'm stupid as fuck. East side of Vertzville. That sound pretty intimidating. You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking know. I can't anymore. These people are just make shit up. But with OnlyFans, it's like it's a weird one. It's a weird bag, and like I said, if you're able to capitalize on it, I'm not fat. Or my favorite DJ. No, that's not my favorite DJ. He could suck a fat one. That dude couldn't. DJ, you mean DJ Fruit Bowl?
Another one.
DJ Fruit Bowl. We're gonna Renell Zero. We're gonna call him DJ Fruit Basket.
Yeah.
DJ. DJ Rainbow Road. That's what we call DJ Rainbow Road.
Love that.
Because he knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's just with OnlyFans. It's a weird bag. It's like I said, you would really have to sit back and take it at a case by case basis with some of these girls, because even with OnlyFans, there are some girls that will never do anything sexual on there. It's just right now because it's so heavily, it's heavily implied. I'm sure
if it's implied, whether she's doing it or not doing it, if it's implied to millions of people around the planet that she's providing sexual access of some sort. There's just there
are some girls that won't even do sexual access. Like, there's some girls that literally just model, like, for real, like,
for sure. But why do you? If that's the case, you're only doing it because people assume that you're doing sexual content. Because otherwise, why can't you model elsewhere? You model on OnlyFans on purpose so that you can go and you advertise on things like Twitter and Instagram, and even in the case of Amaranth, Twitch, where that's her biggest conversion rate is from Twitch to her OnlyFans.
Well, Amaranth is just one of those people that she knows she's doing it like that anyway. Even when she lied about her husband, like the guy that she was with, or was it ex-husband? I think it was husband. Yeah, ex-husband. I knew I had a feeling she was lying anyway. To be honest with you.
I think that's what a lot of the hot tub streamers are doing. That's why they ride the policy so close to the line to get all these people interested in their social media, who then go on there, then they see that they're on OnlyFans, and then whether or not it is sexual, no matter what the content is, people see an attractive woman doing bikini stuff on Twitch or whatever the case that has an OnlyFans. Yeah. It tricks your brain into thinking one way.
Right. Oh, she's doing sexual content. Basically.
Yeah, whatever the case may be. Yeah. But it tricks you, and it's just not something that I want my partner being thought about by me thinking that everyone else is thinking about it, but also everyone else thinking about it. I'd rather not, especially if I can afford to keep you from doing that.
Yeah, don't do it. I wouldn't want you to do it. Like I said, I get your point. You make a valid point. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, no, he's canceled. No. Like, I'm not one of those guys. I'm like, hey, you got a point. Like I said, and that's why I tell guys, I'm like, look, if it's right now, it's just a current meta of things. Like, and I can't talk. Take two. The disconnect that I have is with guys that have the same mentality that you do, right? But they take it a step further. They're extreme with it, and you know the ones that I'm talking about, the ones that, well, I wouldn't ever, if I ever catch a girl doing OnlyFans, or if she ever wears a skirt too short around me, I'm, and I'm not there, and I can't have access to it, then I don't want, she's a thought. Then I'm like, no, shut the fuck up, please. Excessive. Like, I get the concern. Once again, I get the concern of, and your point of, you don't want everyone to have that access to her, or have the implied access to her, right? My thing is, people are going to think that regardless, right? People are going to, there's people that know that someone like Beyonce's married and would still have thoughts about, Beyonce. There's people that, and it doesn't help the fact that Beyonce is a performer, entertainer, and, whatever the fuck, and she still performs, whatever. But there's still people that are going to think that, regardless, that's my thing. It's like, people are going to think about that, whether you think, whether you're there in the room or not, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'd just rather them use their imagination than be given the pictures.
Fair enough, and which is fair, which is fair, and that's the part where I could say, okay, cool. If that's how you operate, cool. And I think, and I like, that's one thing I will say I like about you, and I have a conversation like that with you, is because you understand that, like, you're cool with that. Like, you understand my point of view, I understand yours, and that's why we need to have more conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? We need to have more conversations like this, and I don't want to be sitting there talking with red pill guys that will sit up here and be like, oh, well, nah, she can't have an OnlyFans. If my girl if I find out, if she's my girl and I find out she has an OnlyFans, she better, if she's doing it before she meet me, she better stop, or else we're never going to be together. Or if she does it while we're not, oh, well, that's an instant cutoff, which is understandable
for me.
Which is understandable.
But I would never put her in an ultimatum. Unless she hit it for me and we're like so far deep in, like a year or two in.
Yeah.
It's, then I'd be like, okay, well, it's me or whatever. But like, normally I wouldn't put someone through an ultimatum. It's just a barrier.
Exactly. That's what you said, the key thing, right? The ultimatum, unless, like, if y'all been together for a while, I will understand that. Like, y'all been in for a minute, okay, cool. She hid it from you, cool. Then make that ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? Make that ultimatum. Then, because I can tell that's and I will agree, that's disrespect.
Yeah,
that's disrespect. If it's got to be put up front. Like, when I said, I've told dancers this before. I'm like, hey, look, if you're getting with somebody, at some point, you have to. At some point, you have to let your partner know. This is imperative. You have to let your partner know what it is, because if you don't, this is a part of what you're doing. And especially if your partner doesn't know any better about this stuff, they're ignorant to these things, then you have to let them know. You have to sit them down, walk. If you got to walk it through them, like, talk them through it like you're 5. Okay? Like a 5-year-old child. Break it down. Do what you have to do. That's where the communication comes in. Now, if you do all of that and they not with it, then that's their prerogative. They have a choice.
Yep.
That's the beautiful thing about it. And I've told plenty of girls this. I'm like, so what? Well, he doesn't like the fact that I do OnlyFans. Baby, first of all, some of y'all, and I'm going to say this real fast, some of y'all that do OnlyFans, y'all really just doing it because somebody told you to do it.
You shouldn't be doing it.
So you're doing it because you thought you can get somebody moving. You get some more money out of the shit. Like, you thought you was going to get easy money. You thought because you got a couple of likes doing the shit that it will convert over, and
it's a big risk.
It doesn't convert. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have people, even regular people, that pay you, that's gonna be thinking that they can get access to you because, oh, I'm paying $5 a month, and they're not doing, and especially or people that's expecting things. Okay, well, I'm paying $5 a month, business wise. Think about that for a minute. If somebody's paying monthly for you, they want to see it, then you got to at least put up some kind of content. If you're not putting out anything, or if you haven't, and this is the other thing too, that
even a product,
if you don't put out the FAQ of what you expect to do, of what people can expect from you, that's why I say some girls won't ever go the route that you're thinking sexual. Some girls won't even be implied sexuality. That's how crazy it is. But a lot of girls, they never put out the FAQ for themselves. That's why they just let people let their brains wander. No, you can have OnlyFans and not do any of that sexual shit. Now it may be a little bit harder for you. Sure.
No, but that is implied sexuality being on OnlyFans. Not necessarily by something that you say or do, but the app has become that in itself at this point. So like you could just as easily do art on Etsy or on YouTube or on Twitch or 19 other different options, but you choose OnlyFans.
Yep. And even with Twitch, like people are doing that shit on Twitch, right? I think we talked about it before. The reason why we like a lot of these girls do shit on Twitch right now, right? It's the implication, right?
Yep.
It's the implication of shit. So if you go, like, say your parents come in or somebody, some guy comes in and they see you with a camera and computer and a laptop and a ring light, they're gonna be like, oh, well, what do you do? Like, if you tell them, hey, I'm on Cam Soda, and they look up what Cam Soda is, well, shit, they're gonna be like, oh, damn, I don't know if I want that, versus, hey, I'm on Twitch, and they go on Twitch and they see people playing games on Twitch. They see people having conversations, something like this, or doing podcasts and having a good time, getting people involved. They're gonna think differently, and that's why a lot of girls they want to be sneaky with the shit, and that's why I say a lot of these girls be sneaky, because once again, that's why you see a lot of the meta with the cleavage out, the girls doing just chatting streams, just dance streams. Remember when they were doing just dance? I think Amaranth was one of the ones when she was doing just dance at one point. She did just dance, but she didn't have the controller for it. She was doing it off YouTube videos. Yep.
Okay.
At one point, she wasn't the only one doing it like that, but there was a couple other girls doing it. But I think Amaranth was one of those girls doing it. But it's like I think honestly at this point, I have no issue, and this is, like I said, this is where we have a difference of opinion. I have no issue with a woman being sexual, or not necessarily sexual, but promiscuous, I guess is one word to put it, but that's not the word that's satisfying me right now. But I have no issue with the girl that's being promiscuous as long as she's aware of the consequences that come with it. As long as she's aware that there are some guys out there that will maybe not take her seriously, maybe not, that may think one way of her, or it may be a little bit more of an uphill battle for her to climb. As long as she understands that, we good. And
I don't care either. I agree 100% with what you just said.
As long as she understands that,
it'll just disqualify her from me.
Right. It may disqualify her from you. Now, maybe not from me. I'm like, you don't like her.
That's what I'm saying. I still agree with you.
It's just like, keep that over there.
Do your thing with someone else.
Yeah, right.
Go do your thing with someone else.
Right. Yeah. I just don't feel like that. And like I said, and that's the part where people need to understand that, like, that's fine. That is totally understandable. Right. I think that's the normal part that people need to understand. It's like, well, if he doesn't take me, then he's not a real. No. Vertz is just a real man, is like I am. You know what I'm saying? And like that whole real man argument is fucking stupid anyway. But like, I'm just, we're both men and different, right? We just have different points of view, and it needs to be respected. Just like you can't shame me into accepting something that I don't want to accept.
Yeah, and that's a boundary.
Exactly. And that goes for me. The same thing that goes for you. Like I said, hey, I'm cool with you doing OnlyFans as long within certain parameters. You're not cool with it at all. That's
And
fine.
that's the thing, right? Is as long as those parameters of yours aren't broken, whatever. And as long as what I'm not looking for aren't broken, whatever.
Yep.
We just have boundaries and we put our foot down. That's what being a man is knowing what you're willing to accept and then what you're not going to accept, and changing the things that you can and not caring about the things you can't.
Yeah, exactly. And just I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. So I was gonna find this picture real quick. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna switch screens here because I was Renown Zero was like, check my Discord DMs if I want to laugh, and I'm like, oh boy, what are we doing? I know he's gonna send me some off the wall ass shit. So I'm gonna share my screen, kinda. You should be able to see this in a minute. Let me open the setup browser tab. You should be able to see that. You see that right there? You see that picture?
Yep.
All right, so this is the person that we talking about right here. So let me switch over because Renown, why do you
majestic beard?
Why do you do this to me, Renown?
Looks so perfectly cut.
It looked too perfect. Those are the kind of people you watch out for. This is the person that says he DJs better than me. Like that's he's a better DJ than me. Like
Unlikely.
he's a little he's a little you can't see me, but he's a little he plays for the Rainbow Coalition.
Oh man. Mamba.
Somebody told me that his stomach stick out for his stomach stick out. He got a big ass stomach, bigger than his legs. I was like, yo, that's wild.
Oh man, you can't see his toes.
You can't see his toes, man. Man got the little wannabe Laura Croft combat boots.
Good for you, bro. They're unisex now. It's 2024.
I like how you said, yo, wait. Yo, wait. I like how you said that. Good for you. Do that again. Do it again.
Yeah, good for you, bro. They're unisex.
Good for you. That's that kind of shit the parents would do to tell their kids and shit, like, when they're not really interested.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good for you.
Mom, I won in my spelling bee in class. Oh, good for you, Timmy.
Right.
Good for you.
Didn't even,
I go to your fucking room.
It was my second spelling bee. It wasn't the official spelling bee.
Yeah,
it was just
a practice.
It was a practice one. I won the practice one. Yo, it got the nerve to sit up here and try to talk about somebody else, bro.
Yeah, can we get a DJ off?
Oh man,
I'll be the middleman.
You'll be the
I'll
middleman.
be the mediator.
The
Yeah, I'll be the mediator to keep things civil.
Oh no,
I'm pretty bipartisan.
Next short,
I'm pretty middle leaning.
Middle leaning? Well, I don't know, man. According to people like that, according to people like him, middle leaning people are the enemy, man. You got to be. I mean,
that's true.
I hate people like that. I really do. He said my short already accomplished. My job is done. Hey, there you go. Get your job done, Reno. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
Yeah,
man's been working hard, bro. But I appreciate this conversation with you, man. For real, we need to have more of this. I like this, and
I agree.
I feel like this is what's missing from the space, right? I feel like this is what's missing from the space. There's so many people, especially with online right now, that would have you think that if you don't believe a certain thing, you have to, like, it's people are scared to have conversations for this reason. It's like, if you don't think a certain way, then you're being judged by people. People are blacklisting you from opportunities because you, like, clearly, and it's becoming evident that people are trying to blacklist you from opportunities.
I think that might be why. So you said something earlier about why you don't want to talk to certain extremists and stuff, and why you'd rather talk to someone like me who's like willing to understand both sides and whatever.
Yeah,
I actually think for a couple reasons, talking to extremists, even in conjunction with somebody like me, is extremely important, but also would be good for debate for a couple reasons. I mean, so one, extremists, their logic is very flawed typically on all ends. It's both sides too, not liberal or conservative, just in general. Most extremists are, but also they make very good clips, and they make a lot of things go viral, which is why I feel like more people go to the extreme. And that's for everything. It's not even for just topics like that. It's for gaming. Why we go back to the yelling thing? Because people want to go viral. Why do people look at sports media? I don't know if you watch ESPN or like Skip Bayless or like all these people. Why do you think they have these dumbass takes where Max Kellerman's saying he'd rather have Iguodala than Steph Curry with the game on the line with the aliens? You know what I mean? Like they say this stuff to get clicks rather than to actually be factual.
It's true, but then it's also it's disheartening for people that actually have common sense. Because
of course,
because people are stuck, like it's outrage culture. You know what I'm saying? Like it's outrage culture, and it lasts. It's like flash in the pan shit. And I've talked. Matter of fact, I've talked to Renown Zero about it in the chat. I've talked to a few people. I'm like, look, you can do all of this yelling and hoopla, all that shit. That's fine. That's cool. But it's you get information. You get attention like that, but that attention is so short lived. And you're getting it from people that don't care. You know what I'm saying? You're getting it from people that are looking for the next thrill. So if you're not yelling in the next video, you know what I'm saying, or the next short, then they're not going to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not yelling and, if you're not cussing people out or you're not getting in people's faces, that's why I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'll handle my business if need be. Like, if I get competitive, we over here talking shit, I'm gonna talk my shit, sure. Yeah, but I'm not gonna make that a main goal. I'm not gonna be like, okay, yeah, I gotta talk shit to you every time I see you, or no.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's not me either.
Yeah,
but I get the virality. More people are yelling, and why more people act like that, and why more people have bad takes, and why they say things, and then it just becomes, because people are saying and doing these things so much, now they're actually starting to believe it after so many years of delusion.
No, yeah, that's the crazy part, is the delusion part. I think honestly at the end of the day, some people need to know when to cut it back a little bit and know what, and like I guess the responsibility is a dual responsibility. Right, as a audience, in the audience, or if you see it, you got to know when to either A, leave the bullshit alone, or B, cut through the bullshit, do the research.
Yeah.
Right, A or B, those one of the two options for right now. Right, and as somebody who's doing the content, you got to be able to either have some extra stuff to balance it out, or just be prepared for people to just not take you seriously. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, like I said, at the end of the day, I just feel like a lot of this stuff needs to be a balance out. There has to be at this point. And this, all the yelling, I get it, do it. I get, there's moments where I feel like that, but at some point you just got to be like, fuck it, bro. Like, be yourself. Like, and a lot of this stuff, a lot of people doing this shit, it ain't them. They know, and they know it's not them. They know it. They know it's not, and they're just doing it just because. They're doing it because, oh well, it's getting the clicks and views. Like this is why I do the shit that I do now. Like ask myself, it's like, would I still, if I didn't get the attention, right, the clicks and views, would I still do this? Would I still game? Hell the fuck yes. I'd be gaming. I'd be doing music to some degree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be, like I said, if I didn't, like I said, I wouldn't be, I'm not necessarily relying on it, but like I said, I would much rather get paid doing the things that I love to do. And that's why I'm doing the things that I'm angling it that way. So, but yeah, like I said, I appreciate the conversation with you. Like I said, Vertz, it's always a pleasure. One of the calmest conversations, that we have in here. And it's something that I want more people to see. And like I said, it's going to be up. Emperor's Court podcast is staying up. These episodes stay up, and it's always good to come through and and have people come in and have a good time and just chill and vibe and actually take the time to listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not always about, oh well, you're right, you're wrong, and you're this and you're that, and you're this phobia, you're that phobia, and blah blah blah. Blah. Man, fuck all that. Like, look,
That's actually perfect to the last thing that I want to kind of ask you and anyone that's in chat still and
okay.
for this video. And just, it's kind of a broad question. It's not necessarily direct to you or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll use the OnlyFans thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
You are obviously, you don't care if they're doing OnlyFans. I do care. Is there, and this could be for any argument, but this is the question I want to leave everybody with.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to change your opinion on something if new facts or things come to light? And that's what everyone should be willing to do. I'm not saying that you should change your opinion. I'm not saying that your opinions are wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you should go into a conversation with the ability to have your mind changed in some way instead of being hard stuck on this is my belief and it is because it is. Right. And that's kind of where we are with the extremists that we've been discussing. Yeah. You see it more so on, I guess you see it on both sides, but nowadays it's more so on the liberal side where you can't even talk to them or they'll just start screaming or something along those lines. Like, I just, I want to ask you a question.
Right. I just want to have a conversation with you. Can you, or at the very least, and if I may add to that, right? And if you're going into a conversation, if you upon new information, if you're willing to change, your ideas based on new information, if you're at least willing to, I would say, take it a step backwards a little bit, just a little bit. Are you at least willing to listen and understand first before you can change your mind, right? Before you can get new information and change your mind, you have to be able to listen first. You get what I mean? In order for the soil, the seeds to be planted, the ground has to be fertilized. You can't plant a seed in the hard ground. So if the ground is too hard for you to listen and you're too hard, once again, like I said, that's why this conversations are good, is because it's not just a hard ground conversation. With the extremists, you're looking at hard ground. So the question would be, I would answer, like I said, if I would add what you're saying, right? If you have new information, would you be able to change your mind with new information, right? But also, first, would you be able to listen to what other people have to say, right? Would you be able to listen?
I just, it's just more the intent going into the conversation, right? Like, I think a lot of debate, people go into it thinking I will listen, and they take listening obviously different than you and I listen. I listen to understand. You can listen to understand and you can listen to hear words.
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear words and take it however you want, or you can understand the intent behind the delivery of what someone is saying to fully listen and understand. Now, obviously, if you go in and you should say, I'm going to listen, and then you listen and just respond in ways that don't pertain to what you're saying, you're not listening.
Yeah, right. That's true.
But like you need to be like, okay, I'm taking the facts that my boy is saying, and I'm gonna apply it. And does that change my mind, or can it lead me in a way that's even gonna make me 1% less extreme, 2% less extreme?
Right. Exactly. Or at least be a little bit more human about it.
Yeah, exactly. Understanding.
Mm-hmm. I agree. At least, and even if I don't agree, like, and even if we come, if it still comes to, well, I still don't agree with this, or even if I never change my mind about things, I at least understand where other people are coming from, and I can, okay, cool. It gives people a chance to do that, and like I said, I have no problems listening to people. My issue was always been, one, you're not going to come in here and disrespect what I got going. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to sit up here and disrespect me and expect me, and then turn around and expect me to listen to you. Because you're not going to sit up here and try to talk shit about me, degrade what I got going on, or degrade, and this goes for anybody, whether liberal, conservative, OnlyFans, no OnlyFans, I don't care, right? If I set certain rules, I'm like, hey, look, chill out, hey, you doing a little bit too much. Chill out. Bring it back. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you talk. We can even even if the conversation gets passionate, cool. But if it's getting to the point where it's too much, and I'm like, hey, and I'm telling you, bring it back just for the sake of, hey, we're losing the conversation. We're getting lost. I think we're not, you know what I'm saying? And you don't listen, and then you're not trying. No, okay. All right. Get him out. Or, all right, cool. Let's get to the roasting session. All right. You not, apparently you're not listening. So that's one of the things that I think once it's the humanity of it. Once we get to the humanity of it, we will have to, I think things will be a little bit better. And I think, I know it may not be a lot on the, I guess, dare I say, entertainment value, I guess, in massive quotations, right? Because that's always subjective. But it may not be much on the entertainment value, but I think it would definitely go further, in the long run, because people can always come back to this and be like, oh, yeah, so this was actually a really good conversation. You can sit down and talk about this shit.
A good faith conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah, we're gonna get that. Mr. Excuses in the building. I see you. I also think,
what up, brother?
To cases where if you have two different opinions, just because one is right doesn't mean the other is completely wrong. I feel you can mix opinions as well as to get better results. Exactly. If you can, if possible, right? I feel like that's the point of the conversation. If you can get one solution, or maybe, because like I said, I lean towards the OnlyFans stuff, but I also believe in there's boundaries. It's just because I believe in OnlyFans, a lot of people think that, oh, well, you don't believe in boundaries. No, bitch, I believe in fucking boundaries. It's just that some of y'all need to figure out, some of y'all are 2 steps away from being controlling. You might as well trim up the mustache and get you a fucking Nazi outfit. You know what I'm saying? Because you over here controlling niggas. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta know.
German, that's offensive.
Well, hey, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry.
I mean, I am German, but I'm not offended. Don't worry.
But I just feel like it's really, like I said, it's really a case of we have to come together as people and do that. But yes, you're definitely right. But I definitely want to thank everybody for coming through. Ronan, Renown Zero, Grey Poupette, Mr. Excuses, thank y'all for coming in. And everybody that's going to be watching this on the playback, I hope y'all do. Be sure to share this with a friend. Share this, because we need more conversations like this. We do.
Facts.
We do. And like I said, definitely want to get more of the In Control fam in here. We can, hey, I'm open to Emperor's Court. The Emperor's Court is open to almost everybody. Let me know, Mr. Excuses. We'll talk. Yeah, we'll get some game. We talked gaming earlier. We went from gaming to social topics and everything in between. Yes, sir. This is the podcast to do it. You are in the Emperor's Court. Tell them where they can find you, my good man, sir.
Myself, or are you talking to Excuses still?
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You are the guest.
I don't use much else. You guys can find me on X or Twitter at Versatile, VERTZATILE.
Yep.
I do it all.
I'm right. Look, I have them right there for y'all, so that way y'all can have it in. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, sir. We'll definitely be on it. I'm going to end everything over here. Stick around real quick. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna deafen you right quick, and I will be ending things here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate the homie Vertz coming through. In Control fam in the building. I like it. Love to see it. Mr. Excuses, we can go get you on. We definitely go get you on. If you want to get in, holla at me. Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all of y'all. And I don't know what we're gonna do it next week. I'm gonna try to do it again next week, I think. I don't know. I'm working the logistics out, y'all. Bear with me, okay? I'm working out the logistics of this stuff. You feel me? So I just need y'all to bear with me. Follow me on all forms of social media. 210LG. Instagram 210Law. I also do the Strip Club Chronicles. Y'all want to tap in on that? I got some stuff to talk about on that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got all of my things, man. Follow me on. If you want to get on the Discord, let me know, man. We'll be in here. In the meantime, between time, I'll be catching you guys on the next time. Thank y'all so much for coming through. Appreciate every single one of y'all. I'll be catching you guys on the next time. Peace. And God bless.
Dynasty.